Hello, everyone, and welcome to STEM Minds Quarterly Esports Tournament. My name is Rob. I am so excited to be a host today. For you?
Yeah, and my name is Mac. I'm so excited to be hosting as well with my good friend Rob, and we're excited to get people, give them a little introduction, a little teaser into what Edsports Rocket League can look like.
Absolutely. And so for our quarterly tournaments that we're planning on hosting this year, our plan is to introduce not just esports to the new generation and get people excited about esports and everything that goes with it. But we also want to introduce some new games that maybe aren't considered traditional esport games, but we still think have a lot of promise and give a lot of those skill building that we look for in esports.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things we want to really take away from esports, or at least introduce people to, is that really it's just an industry of passion, right? These people care a lot about the games they play, and there's lots of different ways you can interface them, and a lot of soft skills that come in those things, right? So showcasing ingenuity, showcasing new ways to play the game, and really just experience something you love.
Absolutely. And with today, one of the big skills that I'm excited for is that team building, the communication skills that are going to come and be visible in Rocket League today, because we've got a bit of a stranger setup for an esports tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. If you joined us for our last Rocket League tournament, that was more traditional in its setup, where we had dedicated teams. They would match against each other player. Obviously, the best team of the day took home the win. Today, we're focusing a little bit more on, like Rob said, the collaboration aspect, where we're actually kind of making all players play together. So there's going to be that learning curve, that communication building, like you said, and being able to take your game in different areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to explain a little bit of the rules before we jump into our games today, the way that our scoring system is going to work for today's Rocket League tournament is we are actually going to be playing 10 games of Rocket League today, so 10 best of one matches. And in each of those best of ones, the teams are going to be changing. So we have 6 players with us today: Booted, Moot Elm, Broke 9, Immure Skull, Oranges Are Yummy, and Cocoa Whiz. And each game, they're going to be paired up with 2 other randomly chosen players. So they're going to be playing in 3 versus 3 games. And the ultimate winner is going to be the player who is able to earn the most amount of points over those 10 games combined.
Yeah, and that's one of the really important things to mention is it's not points maybe as you might imagine in a game like soccer where you score goals. Rocket League has an internal point scoring system where different actions in your game award you different points. For example, if you were to score a goal, you'll get 100 points. If you score an assist, I believe it's 50 points. And we're going to use those and those accolades, for lack of a better term, to actually indicate how well everybody's participating. Because one of the things we want to take away from esports is that, again, everybody can participate, right? You don't necessarily need to be the top player to be impactful in the scene and to interface with a community you love.
Absolutely. And an important part of the internal scoring system is that it rewards some of those maybe lesser viewed plays in Rocket League that you don't see necessarily on the win-loss scorecard, right? Things like whether a player has managed to make a save, protect their goal. That's worth as much as an assist. So it incentivizes that defensive side just as much as the offensive side. As well as, I'm sure we'll see a few of them today, some demolitions could always earn a player a few extra points here and there.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about the versatility of play, and I think that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to today specifically is seeing how sort of each player tackles maybe their game plan, and since the teams are randomized, how those game plans are going to evolve. Maybe a striker in one game will take more of a defensive role in another.
Absolutely. And it's going to be exciting to see all of the different communication, because we do know some of these players are from our previous tournament. They have played together before. So seeing how they do apart could be an interesting move, and I'm excited to see all the combinations that they can come up with.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be an interesting test of thinking on your feet and sort of seeing how the game shakes out and how you can, as we've been saying, work as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's introduce our kind of first lineup, what the teams are going to be. We're going to start getting our players into the action because I'm excited to jump into the game and see what they've got. I can't wait for this round 1, and we'll just kind of go for it right away. So our first game is going to be between our players Booted, our player Broke Nine, and our player Orange are Yummy. And they are going to be matched up on the blue team against Moot Elm, Immure Skull, and Coco Wiz, who will be playing on the orange team. So we're going to be remembering everyone's names. We're going to be updating point totals as we go. We're going to be getting the players into the match, getting them ready to go. And the players have been told all about the scoring system, and they know what points to go for. As well as, one thing we forgot to mention, wins are worth 100 points in the game. So it is good to try and get those demolitions, good to try and get those saves. But ultimately, the things that do give the most points are those goals and wins.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the strategy of the game, right? Do you try and, farm points? Do you actually just go for a straightforward Rocket League game and try and pick up, maybe a little tip or trick here and there to kind of boost your chances? But with all of that being said, I think the players are getting ready. I bet they're just as eager to get started as we are.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to seeing, it's like sort of how the teams work out, right? If you've joined us before, some of these names might seem familiar to you, but there's also some new faces. So it'll be interesting to see how, like you said, when the teams are apart, how they actually interface with each other, how they can play and collaborate. But also these new sort of unknowns, see what they can bring to the table.
Yeah, see what kind of wild card action they can bring.
Definitely.
So it looks like our players are hopping into the lobby right now. We're just waiting for everyone to connect, and then we will have the players join their match. And then we will get jumping right in. Again, our teams for this round are on the blue team. We will have Booted, Broke Nine, and Oranges are Yummy. And on the orange team, we are going to have Moot Elm, Immure Skull, and Coco Wiz. So our players are just getting connected to the lobby. We're having all of our players connect before we start joining the teams, just to make sure that all of the matches are fair. So we're getting everyone connected into the lobby itself, and then we will get everyone onto their respective teams, and the game will get started. Alrighty. So we are going to be getting everyone in and ready to go in just a few seconds.
Yeah. Looks like everybody's kind of getting ready, getting sorted, and look forward to the first kickoff. See how the first game, I believe we're on Championship Field. Bit of an interesting, turn of phrase there, but we'll let everybody kind of get settled, and we'll start the game shortly.
All right, so it looks like we have a little bit of technical difficulty, so we're going to be remaking the game really quick. It looks like we may have started it a little bit before everyone was ready to go, so we will be getting a new game ready for those players, just because we want to make sure that all players get the chance to play all 5 minutes of the game. Yeah. It looks like we had some AI hop in for a couple of our players who may have had a bit of technical difficulties and weren't able to connect right away.
Yeah. No, not a problem though. I mean, they are playing soccer with cars. The engines need time to rev up, so we'll let everybody get warm and get in, and we'll get started.
And while we're waiting for everyone to get started, just to talk a little bit more about STEM minds and our passion for esports and what we like to call Edsports, because we like to believe in educational esports. We are dedicated to bringing more awareness and more light to the esports industry and how it is run and how it is, all the different jobs that are available outside of the kind of staple, I'm a professional gamer. I sit in front of a computer screen for 17 hours a day playing video games. We want to bring more light to the variety of games that are available, as well as the variety of jobs, and how important it is to be healthy as well as to play those games if that's what you're interested in.
Well, yeah, that's one of the major takeaways, right? It's that esports is an endeavor in every sense of the word. You want to be able to enter that industry however you see fit, right? You look at even traditional sports industries. Obviously, the players are the ones that maybe get the most limelight, but there's coaches, there's infrastructure of actual arenas or whatever it may be, right? There's so many different ways you can interface with something you love, and that's what we want to really show to these students. We also want to make sure that, like you said, Rob, it is a passion, but it needs to be done healthily.
Absolutely.
Right? We need to be able to moderate and show that if you're dedicating yourself to something. It takes effort. It takes effort in terms of getting better at the game, making sure that you maintain, a healthy, active lifestyle, and you kind of educate yourself on all of these areas you can actually explore.
Absolutely. And two of the most unsung roles in esports with my research into it, and Mac and I are both huge fans of esports, so we love doing this type of stuff and learning about more about it, are the professional chefs and physical trainers that esports actually hire to make sure that their players, their coaches, have that balanced diet, have that time to stay in physical shape, whether that's going to the gym for an hour a day or whatever it may be, but giving them that ability so that ultimately they can compete at the highest level that they want to, just like the Olympic athletes that we saw in past weeks, or even just professional athletes in more traditional sports like hockey, baseball, football, basketball, and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely, right? The last thing you want to be doing is worrying about really anything else when you're on playing, right? So you want to make sure that your mindset is laser focused and that, like you said, you're able and ready in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and to dive a little bit into our quarterly Edsports tournaments that we're hoping to continue hosting, and hopefully you guys will be joining us for them all throughout this year. We are planning on doing, like we said, a variety of games, some of them a little less traditional, some of them pretty traditional. So our next quarterly tournament, we are actually going to be running a Super Smash Brothers tournament in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. So players will be able to join and compete individually to try and take the title of the Ultimate Smasher for STEM minds, as it were. So that should be a fun one. And maybe a little teaser, some games that we're thinking of in the future. One that I'm really excited for that I can't wait for us to get a chance to do is Mario Kart. That's a game that I personally grew up with. I love playing it, and doesn't really have much of an esport per se. There is a bit of online speed running and racing and stuff like that, but no real locked in traditional format. So I'm really excited that we may have a chance to bring that to an esport tournament ourselves.
Yeah, new courses coming too, as a matter of fact. But I mean, again, it just shows testament to the esports industry and the innovation you can find within, right? Like you said, Rob, something that maybe is not maybe a traditional esports title or whatever have you, people can actually sort of interface and maybe learn to love, right?
Absolutely.
And really, one of the things we want to take away is, again, that idea of passion and that idea of community. So, you know, maybe there's no Mario Kart community now, but you find a bunch of like-minded individuals that are interested in this kind of thing, and you can foster one together. And honestly, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're getting some of our players into the new lobby now. So we're just waiting for everyone to connect before we start joining the teams. Again, just as a reminder, for our first game of the day, we will have the blue team, which is comprised of Booted, Broke 9, and Oranges Are Yummy, against the orange team, which will be Moot Elm, Immure Skull, and Coco Wiz. So we've got all of our players connecting and getting ready to go. Looks like we're trying to connect to the lobby, but we will see, and hopefully everyone will be on and ready so that we can get in and get our games going.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things about this game in particular, as you mentioned about people not necessarily being together, at least not what they would expect to be together. In our last tournament, we saw Moot Elm and Booted actually teaming up, and right off the bat, they're going to be on opposite teams this time. Interesting to see how that'll play out.
Yeah, and as well as that, I believe we had Immure Skull and Oranges Are Yummy as another team last time we hosted the event. So two competitors kind of facing off against each other in this upcoming match. Now it seems we're having a little bit of issue with one of our players connecting. We'll switch over to the game screen so we can at least get the matches started. Because we don't want to delay too long. We do have kind of a limited time frame. We don't want our players to take too much time joining. So we will hop into the spectate and show you the match that is going. Unfortunately, it seems like Coco Wiz is not yet connected to the game. So we will be counting the Beast's AI points to Coco Wiz so that hopefully once Coco Wiz joins the game, we can add those points together and make sure that they get all of the points they need in order to go. But we were in the game, and right away we see a goal from Oranges Are Yummy, one of those pair partners that we talked about last time, and blue team takes the lead after about a minute of play.
Yeah, so good kickoff here. Looks like it won by the orange team, and Booted with a great shot, going high in the air, catching a very quick repeat of what his team managed just moments ago.
Absolutely. A nice aerial goal and a good try for the aerial defense there, but wasn't quite on the right angle there. So Orange team has a little bit of a lead to come back from, but it is ultimately on the point. So trying to get those goals, trying to get those assists, trying to make those different aspects shine are definitely a way that we are going to try and get everyone going. But a nice little cross by Booted leads to a goal by Orange's Yummy. They had quite a nice little aerial play off the backboard there and get it into the goal.
Definitely. And I think if my eyes do not deceive me, it looks like we actually got Coco Wiz in as well. So the whole gang's here, and we'll see if that maybe Coco is a little determined after kind of being out for just a little bit.
Yeah, and a nice kickoff by the Orange team gets it deep in the blue side, but Booted trying to use some aerial maneuvers to get it out, but a good clear by the Orange team keeps it deep in blue territory.
Yeah, but Oranges are Yummy is right on top of it, but a great bump off of the Orange team. Booted following deep into the Orange side. Looks like they're dancing around the goal. Blue team's trying to keep it there to make sure that a goal prospect is still on the line. But Broke coming in, chasing the ball, gets knocked basically directly upward. Moot Elm knocks it deep into blue side and set up really well for a goal here.
Ooh, but just a bit too high off the crossbar, but gets that shot on goal, trying to make sure to clear the ball a little bit more. And Emir Skull waiting at the defensive end for the Orange team, making sure that although there's a 3-goal lead right now, Emir Skull doesn't want that lead to get any bigger.
Yeah, and it looks like Broke 9 trying to catch interference here rather. But Booted, it seems to always be right where they need to be to get the ball back into the orange zone.
A little bit of a miss by Booted there, but they follow up and manage to keep it in the orange end.
Good tip by Oranges is Yummy, keeps it right by Orange's goal, but Moon Elm with a good clear, making sure that
the ball stays out of danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it looks like Booted with a nice little grab from the
and a
onside.
Great save by Moon Elm, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what our little...
That was a good shot on goal, but a nice save. Orange team trying to get some presence back on the ball. And a nice clear by Amur Skull gets it deep in blue territory. And let's see if they can follow up with it to make sure that the blue team is able to get it back. And another great save by Moot Elm, keeping it out of the net, trying to make sure that their team has a chance to score.
Definitely, and it looks like blue is kind of holding... They're definitely keeping possession of the ball here. Orange really stuck on the defensive. They need to kind of get it deep into the blue area and try and get this goal lead away from blue. It looks like ball's kind of being chased out. Everybody's sort of following around it, but Booted with a good shot, and unfortunately no one's there to stop.
It looks like the Orange team was really ready to break out and try and get into the offensive end.
All right, so it looks like everything is set up here. I mean, honestly, at a minute 42, these goals can come fast in Rocket League, but blue looking with a pretty comfortable position at this point. Bit of a stalemate on the kickoff.
A nice follow-up by Moot Elm, though, on Amur Skull's intro.
Oh, and look at that. A cheeky
that was a bit of a
little
tip
bump.
on... Yeah, so a nice assist by Amur Skull off the kickoff to Moot Elm, and I think it might have been a little bit of an own goal, unfortunately, there, but it gives the Orange team a bit of a chance, and that only took 12 seconds. There's still a minute and a half left. They definitely have the ability to come back in.
Definitely, and we'll see what happens next. It looks like blue wins this kickoff pretty handily. Moot Elm following up, about to go for a little bit of a clear. Gets a little bit of a bump, but not bad. Keeps it kind of dancing around in the blue end. It looks like Booted trying to get it down.
A nice shot by Amur Skull, but a little bit wide. Orange team all back to try and defend, while only Orange's Yummy is trying to get into the goal.
Oh, and there's a demolition from Coco Wiz. We can see how this power play, if you will, goes in favor of the Orange team. Moot Elm trying their best to get a little bit of an aerial goal, but unfortunately loses it in the air.
And we have 1 minute remaining. Moot Elm doing a nice play to go get some boost in order to be able to defend that net and keep it out of danger's way. Coco Wiz also with a nice play to get it across the net without being in too much danger, getting it nice and high over the net so that no one can kind of follow up.
Speaking of high, ball riding the wall in the orange end, it looks like Coco Wiz with a good save.
A good clear
gets
too.
It knocked out.
Ooh, and a nice follow-up.
And a nice little follow-up. That looks like a goal for Moot Elm, and a little tap-in just to secure it.
Good follow-up by Moot Elm. Now, we didn't see an assist on the chart, but I think that was very much thanks to Coco Wiz's work, keeping that ball out, keeping that clear high into the middle so that Moot Elm is able to follow up on it. And great awareness by Moot Elm.
A nice low lob, really, to just kind of get it over everybody, and Moot Elm manage to get deep enough, fast enough, and secure the goal. I'd say, the goals can come quickly, and just like that, we went from 4-0 to 4-2. Last 30 seconds, let's see what the orange team can do.
Ooh, a nice defense by Bro keeps it into the field, but Moot
another
Elm with a demolition.
And it looks like it's deep in the blue side. Orange team is all over it.
Ooh, but a good save by Booted.
Yeah.
Getting it out of danger's way,
Oh,
but a
an
little high
unfortunate
clear.
bump. Moot Elm, quick hat trick to bring them back into this game.
That was a nice play by Moot Elm, a good demolition, starting it off and giving their orange team a bit of a lead in a breakaway, or a power play, I should say.
This is exactly what we were talking about before, Rob. You see how sort of the game plans adjust. Now 2 quick goals off of 2 demolitions. Maybe if they discovered this strategy earlier, things could have gone their way. But, I mean, a truly valiant effort. A great bump there, but unfortunately the ball just gets
touching.
out. But
now it's not over until the ball touches the ground. Booted, trying to get another goal, but unfortunately is not able to. So the winner of game number 1 is the blue team. Booted, Broke, and Oranges are yummy. We're going to make sure to write down the scores for all of our players here. A big game by Moot Elm with that hat trick late in the game. But we're going to get these scores written down, make sure we keep track of all of them, because as we said, this is a cumulative point total as well. The winners will get the bonus 100 points in order to give themselves a little bit of an extra advantage. And we will be starting our second game, which is going to be between the blue team, which will have Booted, Amur Skull, and Coco Whiz, against the orange team, which will have Moot Elm, Broke, and Oranges are yummy. So we're going to be switching Booted and Moot Elm this round to give our next round of play into the game. So again, that will be the blue team of Booted, Muir Skull, and Coco Whiz against the orange team of Moot Elm, Broke, and Oranges are yummy. And we're going to just be jumping right into that game. We're going to be taking a short break after this game, but the players are warmed up. The players are ready to go, so we're going to have them jump in and get onto the teams so that we can match them up in the way that works. So again, we're going to have Booted, Amur Skull, and Coco Whiz together on one team, and Moot Elm, Oranges are yummy, and Broke on the second team. So Oranges are yummy, and Broke can hop right into the blue team. That should be good to go. And
yeah, we'll see how
we can
this game shakes
hop
out.
on into the spectate.
All right, and it looks like a quick goal for the blue team. Moot Elm getting a nice little tap in.
And you can really see Moot Elm's priority on getting that boost, using that to their advantage to try and get into the position they need in order to get those points that they need.
Yeah, and in many senses of the word, Rocket League is a resource game, right? Knowing your awareness, knowing that boost. And I mean, you having boost is just as valuable as your opponent not having it, right? And a great little follow from Oranges are yummy. Tries to get an aerial, almost like direct push into the net, but just hits the sidebar, unfortunately.
Yeah, and a nice play by Oranges are yummy, trying to keep the ball in, going for a follow-up to try and get the goal. A nice center, but no one was there to follow up. Booted coming
Booted
in,
there, but a good save. And it looks like with that, another demolition, Moot Elm takes it in. Moot Elm on a bit of a tear here, destroying the opponent and then securing a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's looking like Moot Elm, Coco Whiz, and I believe Broke is on their team as well. They're doing their best to try and win and get those points as they need.
For sure. So a good kickoff here. Kind of, you could say blue wins, but it's not defining one. But apparently it's just enough. Great awareness from Oranges are yummy. Holding that defensive position. Could have been a very quick goal, and it looks like this is almost like a reverse of fates, where, again, we have one team going up pretty quickly, and the other team sort of locked in defense.
Ooh, but the orange team is trying their best to get that ball in. A nice demolition by Coco Whiz, giving that power play. It looks like Coco Whiz and Moot Elm really taking that strategy they worked on into this game. But Orange is really keeping it deep in the blue territory, trying their best to get a center, trying to get a follow-up. But a nice clear by Coco Whiz and Moot Elm working together to get it deep in orange territory. Let's see if they can converge. And no, unfortunately not able to get that goal off of that, but at least it's in the orange territory. It's a bit safer now. And as I say that, the orange team clears it right away into the blue corner.
And this is a dangerous position to be. The ball kind of bouncing right in front of the goal. a bit of a quick tip in. Ooh. A great shot coming from, I believe that was booted. Could have been Orange's or Yummy.
I believe Amur Skull got the original shot, and Booted was going for the aerial to tap it in.
Tap in. But again, defensive awareness from both of these teams, making sure that, the first 2 goals might, if you're the blue team.
Ooh, and a great pass and goal by Amur Skull and Booted. A nice, very systematic play. Amur Skull with a clear, Booted following it in and getting that goal, bringing it to a 1-goal game between the blue team and the orange team. So very, very close this time. A lot closer this time in the game than our previous match, which just shows how much these teams have learned already. And Oranges are yummy with a nice follow-up to the kickoff, gets their own goal, using the bounce off of the side to try and get into the match and get that goal for themselves.
Definitely. And just like that, the score's tied 2-2, and we're not even halfway through game time, so we'll see how this goes. It looks like a bit of a high kickoff lying sort of almost in the center of the field. Coco is doing their best to keep it into Orange territory, but looks like Orange with a good clear there. Moot Elm, a nice bounce back, but there's the answer from the Orange team. And just like that...
A great save by Bro, keeping the blue team in play. And the Orange team, though, is staying very aggressive, keeping that aerial pressure from the corner. And a nice try for the save by Moot Elm, but wasn't able to stop that aerial play by Booted from going into the net.
Yeah, and you can see, again, the awareness here. Moot Elm doing whatever they can to try and keep it in, but unfortunately just not enough.
Yeah, and we're on to our 6th kickoff of the match here with 2.5 minutes left to the game. Now, with the game being as close as it is right now, something that we should mention is there is incentive for some of the teams to go into an overtime if they feel like they are in danger of losing the game. Because we think that's a very impressive feat for the team that's behind to do, we are going to make sure to award 50 bonus points to the team that loses if a game goes to overtime. So every player on the team that unfortunately loses the overtime play will get that bonus 50 points to really make that push for that tie even more towards the end time of the regular game.
Yes, definitely. And I think one of the things that's important to mention there is that, we're kind of seeing that it could even just be an understanding, a warm-up, familiarity, but this game is almost a lot closer than the first one we saw. It's sort of towards the end we saw it being brought back.
Ooh, a great follow-up by Broke from Moot Elm's assist.
Yeah, just as we say that, it again tied 3-3, and we'll see what comes on this kickoff.
That was a great try to save by, I believe it was Broke there to try and, Moot Elm to try and get the ball cleared, but Broke with a great follow-up to get that ball back into position and get the goal to give their team the tie.
Definitely. It looks like a bit of a scramble down there at the blue net, but a good clear from the blue team. Orange hopefully going for a goal, but can't seem to find it. But Booted with a great sort of aerial, travel, for lack of a better term, getting it in there. And you can see there was an attempted save, but using the actual height of their car to kind of just keep it just out of reach.
Yeah, and something that I'm sure the players are starting to notice going into these games now, Booted really likes to use that corner on their opponent's side of the field to get that air and try and Coco Wiz with a goal off of the kickoff brings it back into a tie.
And we said at the beginning, these goals can come fast, and just like that, we're tied up.
That is huge, and with only 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the play, this is looking like a very overtime contender game. So those extra 50 points for the losing team versus the 100 points for the winning team are definitely in the minds of the players.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting outcome to this game either way. We definitely see some of these players really coming into their own. Like, the goals are coming sort of shot after shot, right? And look like right here, there's chance for another one.
Ooh, great save by Moot Elm, using the double jump to give themselves a little bit more speed to get in front of the ball.
And there's a demolition this time, I believe, it is in Blue's favor again, unless they just came back. But it looks like we again see the defensive capabilities of the blue team. Orange has tried to take a lot of shots, and they just unfortunately can't seem to get through this wall.
A nice save by Muir Skull, going for a center shot, but a good defensive play by Moot Elm, but a nice read by Amir Skull to keep the ball in their opponent's territory, giving themselves and their teammates a chance for that goal in these last kind of 10 seconds.
Booted is there, a good hit backwards.
Ooh, a nice save by Coco Wiz, just popping the ball up to stop that orange aggression. The ball is in the air, but we are going to overtime between these two teams. So we will see who gets that goal and who gets the win. Now we are playing a 5-minute overtime with one goal, so whoever scores the first goal will take the win. But if it goes all the way to the end, then we will have a little bit of a draw. We'll be going to more of a point total and shots on goal and such in order to decide which team is the winner.
And just like that, there's another demolition, and it looks like it's kind of working out. Moot Elm with a good shot, but unfortunately saved.
When it looks like Moot Elm ran out of boost in the middle of their play trying to get to the aerial, showing how much that resource conservation, not conversation, sorry, is so important to the game and making sure that you can make the plays you want to play.
And we see that both of these teams, they're really hungry for it. The demolitions are coming out. They're sort of, really scrapping for this end goal, Like there is a 50 points difference, and in the end, that could make the difference between, first and second, whatever it may be.
A nice shot by Orange is Yummy. Another demolition by the blue team that we kind of missed there off screen a little bit, but the orange player was able to respawn and get back in time for defense.
That is a great
shot by Booted from the assist from Orange is Yummy. Gives Orange team the win, giving 100 points to Booted, Orange is Yummy, and I believe it is Coco Wiz on that team. Amir Skull, my apologies. And the other three, Moot Elm, Broke, and Coco Wiz are going to be getting that 50 points for the overtime loss.
For sure.
Now, what we are going to do now, we've had a couple of really intense games so far, but we are going to be taking a short break so that we can see what the point totals are at, make sure that we are able to tally the score, give an update on kind of everyone's positions and points so far in the match, as well as give our players a chance to stretch their legs, get some water, go to the washroom if they need to or anything like that, as well as all of you lovely viewers who are watching our games from home or wherever you may be tuning in from. So we're going to be giving about a 2.5-minute break while we get the next round going, and we will provide you with some updates once we are back in the action.
Definitely, and I think, I don't think any stretch of the imagination can you not say that we've had an exciting start to this tournament. Two high-scoring games and an overtime already. So kudos to all the players. As Rob said, we'll take a little break and get right back into the action.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining. We'll be right back after this short break. so much for waiting through that break. I know we all want to get right back into the action, but we do need to give our players that chance to debrief a little bit,
For sure.
give themselves a chance to get some water. It's high intensity there, so we want to make sure that they are ready to go for the next set of games.
Yeah, definitely. And we have a bit of, preliminary standings for you. It seems at this point, it looks as though Booted is our first, our point leader, after which Moot Elm, and then we get into...
Following Moot Elm, we do have Oranges Are Yummy taking third place, and then Broke 9 is in fourth place, followed up very closely by Amur Skull.
And finally, Coco Wiz. But again, this is just the beginning of our tournament.
There's more games still to play.
We have a lot of points on the table, and we'll look forward to what comes in this next one.
Now, before we jump into our next game and tell you the teams for the next game, we do want to let you know that we will be having a giveaway in today's live stream that will have a bit of a STEM Minds prize pack, as it were. We're going to be giving away some swag like hats, earphones, and stuff like that, as well as a build kit for some laser lights and free access to our esports course where you can learn a bit about how to practice, how to improve in a variety of games, as well as all of those different jobs that we've been talking about and how they relate to esports and how integral they are to the esports industry.
Yeah, one of the things we wanted to come across with our esports course is that, again, I mean, obviously you see esports and you see the players and you're like, that looks awesome, I want to do that. But like you said, Rob, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes and it might even just be daunting to start, right? So it's kind of an introductory into the environment and getting people maybe from being direct consumers to actually creators in the esports industry.
Absolutely, and it looks like our teams are getting into this, so keep an eye out for that live stream giveaway, but we're about to jump right back into the action. So our teams for the first game of this second round is Booted, Moot Elm, and Broke are going to be on the blue team against Amur Skull, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz on the orange team. Now, as a reminder, we are going through every iteration of these 6 players, so they'll have a chance to play with every other person in the game, but our players are joining the match, and we will be hopping in and taking a look. So again, that's Booted, Moot Elm, and Broke on the blue team against Amur Skull, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz on the orange team. And let's just get right in there. Let's get our players ready, and we'll hop into the spectate so that we can get going.
Yeah, so definitely going to be an interesting start to this game. And just like that, and almost a quick goal by Oranges Are Yummy, they're making sure that they are out here to play, want to reclaim some of those point totals.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind is we have only gone through 2 games. We are playing 10 total games today, so the players have plenty of options and plenty of opportunities to build on those scored points. And if you have a rough game 1, you can always have a great game 5, right?
Yeah. And I think the game is in there, so we want to make sure we're getting to the action. There's a quick goal from Booted.
Yep, so we will be transitioning onto our game screen so that we are able to see in just a second. And it looks like Booted got the first goal from an assist from Moot Elm. And we will be hopping in. There we go. We should be able to see it now.
Sorry about
and
that. Almost another quick goal. So engrossed in the games. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. Booted and Moot Elm, they're both point leaders right now. The two of them on a team might be a bit of a tour de force. We'll see what comes.
And
next.
Something we haven't mentioned with the format of this kind of tournament, where it's more about the individual play in the game, Mooted and Boot Elm are both kind of the point leaders right now. So being on the same team, are they going to maybe try and steal the ball from each other?
Exactly.
Try to get those points to give themselves that lead. So it should be interesting to see how it plays out. I think all of our competitors today.
And a beautiful goal.
A great
from
cross.
Oranges Are Yummy. I shouldn't overstate the assist from Your Skull too. Look at that. Just a quick little tap in. Moot Elm tries to get there, can't get there in time. And just like that, we're tied again.
Yeah, and that was a great play by both players. And this is one of the reasons why this format is going to be so interesting to watch today, because as the games go, as the players get to play with and against each other throughout the day, they're going to have multiple opportunities to play with all of these players with different thirds and stuff like that on the team. But we can already see Amur Skull and Oranges Are Yummy kind of had an idea for how each other were playing, and we're ready for that play.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the things that's important to mention is, like you said earlier, Rob, how willing to cooperate these team members may be. You know, if Moot Elm and Buddha decide to keep going and want to be the sort of leader or forward, as it were, could actually come with some issues, but doesn't look like any issues there.
Nice aerial goal by Moot Elm, getting the ball up and high on the corner, going off the roof, and just a quick tap in. But there we see that kind of combativeness between Booted and Moot Elm trying to each get the goal there.
Yeah, a bit of an assist, but Rocket League didn't want to give it to Booted, it seems. So we'll see what comes for this kickoff. It's
a demolition right off the kickoff, giving the blue team a little bit of an advantage, but they're back. Oranges are yummy, are back on the field, ready to go.
We'll see what comes. Oh, a good shot there, but the crossbar being it doesn't seem to matter. Booted is right there. Moot Elm with the assist.
Yeah, that was a really close shot by Booted on the first run, and a great follow-up by both players to keep that ball, keep it pressured, and keep it in the opponent's end.
Yeah, and it looks like blue team kind of coming out with a bit of a lead at this point, but we've seen that leads don't necessarily matter much, at least so far.
And a great demolition by Coco.
And it looks like Orange keeping it deep in the corner. A great hit by Oranges Are Yummy.
Ooh, but a good save by Moot Elm, reading where that trajectory of the ball is going off of that aerial shot. But a nice play by Amur Skull, Coco Wiz, and Oranges Are Yummy to set up that play for that shot.
Yeah, it looks like Moot Elm going for a bit of a rebound bump, hopefully for one of his teammates, I imagine, to get in there.
Ooh, nice
But
player.
again, great awareness from Orange team, making sure that they know, we're not going to give you the opportunity.
Orange team's definitely trying to put a wrench in the blue team's plan, and it's looking successful right now. They're managing to keep control, but a great clear by Moot Elm.
Shot, and unfortunately can't get
Nice try
there.
by Coco Wiz for the defense, but wasn't able to get high enough for that bounce. Really tough to read those bounces on those long shots. Not sure exactly how high they're going to go. So a great try by Coco Wiz for the defense there, but a good long distance shot by Moot Elm to get that fourth goal for the blue team.
Yeah, you could see Coco is kind of debating, do you try and go for the initial bounce or the second one, and unfortunately got caught in between. Good kickoff here for the blue team. Goes for a shot on goal, but it just wide as it gets cleared by the orange side. Oranges Are Yummy following up. Nice hit deep in, but looks like Moot Elm is there. Broke comes in to keep it deep in the blue team, kind of, set them all up, and you can see they're coming in their sort of triage formation, the three of them attacking all at once.
Ooh, but a nice exit by Orange's Yummy, keeping the ball deep in the territory of the blue team, trying to set up a cross or a centered ball for one of their teammates. Good aggression by the orange team. Now, we do know Amur Skull is one of those players that likes to play a little bit safer.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that.
Seeing Amur Skull coming in so offensively definitely is setting up their team and trying to bring their team forward. Like, hey, we can do this.
And just like that, a great assist from Amur Skull, shoots it high. Oranges Are Yummy flying in there for the aerial goal. Look at this shot. It's direct center. Oranges Are Yummy right there. Blue team tries to get there, but just can't in time.
Great play by Oranges Are Yummy. Great defensive play by Amur Skull to bring that ball out there and get it over Booted and Moot Elm, giving their player a bit of a freer path to that goal than what they may have had with defenders in the way.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Orange team, again, just 2 shots behind, but still a minute 20 in play. We'll see if they can catch up as they get it just into blue territory.
Good aerial by Booted.
Knocks it back down, gets a nice boost to refresh themselves, and beautiful, almost textbook play here from Booted and Moot Elm. You see one goes up, the other comes across, and that's an easy goal.
A nice center by Booted. Moot Elm with a great read to come in with that boost, flying through the air, and get that tap in. Yeah. So we have about 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this time. The orange team is behind by about 3 goals, but that is comebackable in this time frame that they have. And a great defensive play by Amur Skull, making sure to touch that ball just before Booted's able to.
But a great save from Moot Elm as well. But Oranges Are Yummy trying to go for these tips as well, but unfortunately the rebound not too friendly. Oranges Are Yummy trying to get another shot. It gets cleared out, but Coco Wiz flying
trying to get that aerial just a little bit wide. Ball went a bit slower than expected, but able to keep pressure. But it looks like Booted is coming forward, taps the crossbar, and isn't able to lower it down enough for either Broke or Moot Elm to be able to get that goal. Orange team clearing it.
Yeah, we see Amur Skull's awareness again, that as soon as that miss, Amur Skull is following the ball deep into orange territory.
And a great little tip by Amur Skull there just to make sure that the ball is out of the path.
Nice little clear, a very dangerous situation, but Blue unfortunately couldn't capitalize on it.
Booted with trying to go for a bit of an angled shot there off the corner, but wasn't able to get the path they needed.
Yeah.
But a nice little fly down and tip in so that they are able to knock the ball just enough to get into the net. And unfortunately, the orange team just missed that save.
I was going to say, almost unsure what happened there. The ball seemed to roll directly, but as we see in the replay, Booted almost making sure that it doesn't have the opportunity to bounce and get saved.
Now there is only 5 seconds left, so this is the blue team's win, but we'll see if the orange team can get a last-minute goal, get a few extra points for themselves before the end of this game. The ball is still in the air. Booted trying to maybe try and get a final aerial goal in here. Goes off the post, hits the ground, and that is the end of game number 1. Going to Booted, Moot Elm, and Broke. A great game by both teams. A lot of back and forth and a lot of really nice aerial plays. A lot of our players seem to have practiced those kind of off the roof, off the side plays for this tournament, and it really shows.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's clear to see that both teams are really throwing down in on the turf right now, and really coming aggressive in these games.
So yeah, next game will be getting started very shortly. This is going to be between Booted, Moot Elm, and Oranges Are Yummy on the orange team against Broke, Amur Skull, and Cocoa Whiz on the blue team. So we are going to be getting that set up in just a second. We will have, again, Booted, Moot Elm, and Oranges Are Yummy on the orange team. Broke, Amur Skull, and Cocoa Whiz on the blue team.
Yep.
And we'll be shifting over so that we can get that game ready. The players have been told which ones they are going to be going to, and we will hopefully be able to get that game going very, very soon. Perfect.
All right,
So
looks like we're getting into a bit of a rainy day here at this game, but hopefully, maybe psychologically will impact, but the game shouldn't make any difference. We'll see how the players adjust to their new teammates and get right into the action shortly. Looks like everybody's here. No time to be wasted for sure, so we'll hop into the spectate and get things going. So a bit of a quick kickoff here. It looks like blue in possession, deep into the orange zone, but Oranges Are Yummy. A good clear, gets it deep into the almost opposite corner exactly. Goes for the quick follow-up. Unfortunately, no one there to capitalize on it with them, but we'll see kind of how the game shakes out. Oranges Are Yummy kind of following this ball,
really doggedly trying to get it into that goal. But hopefully this arena isn't a foretold conclusion. We don't want a storm coming down anywhere near us anytime soon, but the orange team is keeping that pressure up. Oranges Are Yummy, able to follow it after that pressure they were applying and getting that first goal of the game 40 seconds into the match.
Looks like the determination has finally paid off.
Ooh, and a nice little backwards double jump to get that hit.
And we'll see what comes on the second kickoff. Unfortunately missed who won the first one, but obviously it looks like, again, Oranges Are Yummy out here. Oh, sorry, excuse me, that was Moot Elm, but Oranges Are Yummy still continuing, and Buddha, what an honest, that was a full team play. You see Moot Elm with a great kickoff, gets it in, Oranges Are Yummy.
And you can see all of them were like, this ball's not bouncing out after that post hit. They were all ready to follow up with that and make sure that the ball gets into the goal. So
a very quick goal for our second one of the match. We'll see who wins this kickoff. Looks like it goes orange again.
Good kickoff from your Skull. You playing defensively, making sure to get that clear, trying to get the ball out of the zone. Booted coming in with a little bit more speed, so was able to take the ball away from Amur Skull there. But
looks like Broke trying to stop things as well. Cocoa Whiz doing what they can for defense, and it looks like the ball unfortunately not cooperating with the orange team, but Oranges Are Yummy, making sure that it stays in blue territory. They're not willing to give up this chance at a quick third goal.
Ooh, but a rough little tip on the aerial there, not able to push it down, pushes it more towards the corner. So Moot Elm was not able to get it kind of into the spot they wanted. And blue team has a chance to clear, but a good follow-up by Moot Elm keeps it deep in the blue territory. A little cross there, but no one there to follow up for orange. And the blue team, ooh, a nice little play by Broke to get it out, but Booted's able to get the boost and get in position fast enough to stop that aggression.
Yeah, and I think, we look at how the team shaked out for this round. We have some, almost 3 hyper-offensive threats on the orange team, but I think the blue team's defense is a testament to how well they can keep the awareness. And just as I say that, Moot Elm comes in with a quick little side goal.
That was a nice try by the defense by Broke, coming in from the sky and trying to get there just before the ball, but was just a little bit too late to stop that from going in. 1 second earlier, that ball would have been a save for Broke and maybe could have swayed the tide.
Yeah, we'll see what comes in this kickoff. It looks like Orange kind of wins, a bit of a tie kickoff there, but we'll see what comes. Quick follow-up, Oranges are yummy. Great awareness, just seeing how things kind of shake out. Ball goes high, they're like, that's okay. I'm just lined up for a good shot. And we saw Amir Skull coming in just a little too slow to save it.
Yeah, and let's get into our fifth kickoff here. It looks like Amir Skull is going to be going for the ball. Generally, when you are playing Rocket League, the players that are on kind of the corners of the kickoff are the ones that are closest to the kickoff. So they're normally the players going in. And a nice aerial carry by Moot Elm with the follow-up from Oranges Are Yummy on the ground to get that little push in just inside the post on the right side.
Mm-hmm. And we see again the sort of offensive oppression that comes from the Orange team. They're just not letting up for the blue team, and we'll see how the blue team adapts as we approach the halfway mark of the game.
Ooh, and that was a very quick goal. Using that read off of the wall bounce from the kickoff by Oranges Are Yummy, Booted's able to line up and get a nice little tip off of the nose while flying through the air.
Yeah, so we'll see what comes on this kickoff here. I think if you were the blue team, how would you take this kickoff, Rob? I would probably wait. I mean, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I think sending one player forward and having the other two ready for the follow-up is a great play for this, considering how aggressive the Orange team is. If that ball gets popped up kind of in neutral territory, they would have a lot of advantage because most of the Orange players, they only know the meaning of forward.
Yeah.
They do play a good defensive game, but they definitely are more focused on trying to get that next goal.
One of the classic schools of thought, the best defense is a good offense. So we'll see what that means for the Orange team. As blue team Broke kind of following the ball, trying to get it deep into Orange territory. Moot Elm goes for a good hit, but unfortunately hits it a little high. But a great bump by...
Right off the crossbar and just got down enough so that it goes bouncing into the goal.
Yeah. And it's almost impossible to see who's actually getting...
I believe that was Oranges Are Yummy.
Yeah, but the whole team's on there, right? It seems as though if they could all score the goal at the same time, I think they'd take the opportunity.
A nice offensive play by Coco Wiz and Broke gets a good kickoff for the blue team deep into the Orange territory, going for the follow-up, but a nice clear by Moot Elm keeps it out of danger's way. Moot Elm following it up in that offensive zone, but a great save by Imur Skull, knocking Oranges Are Yummy out of the way in the air so that they couldn't follow up. But a nice play by Oranges Are Yummy, getting up into the air, getting the assist getting the assist off of Oranges Are Yummy in order to get that goal.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what comes in the last 2 minutes of play. I mean, this is definitely a task at the blue team to kind of come from behind, but we've seen that these goals can come quickly, so we'll see how the blue team kind of adapts and maybe even just go for some of those defensive point options.
Yeah, and for sure, I think that's something that's definitely going to be going through the blue team's mind right now. I don't think reasonably most people wouldn't expect to be able to come back from a 9-0 deficit with only 2 minutes on the clock. It's definitely possible, but it is daunting.
Yeah.
So looking at some of those other ways to get points, maybe even some demolitions you could try and find. Maybe you could try and get some of those extra saves, even just shots on goal, getting those long clears that are lined up with the net are some ways that you can rack up some easier points without having to worry about the full game.
Just as we say that, a great shot from Amir Skull goes deep in. Moot Elm with the great resource conservation.
Oh, and Amir Skull keeping it really close to the Orange team side, really trying to get that goal, bring their team into it, but a good clear by Moot Elm, getting it back towards the blue side. Coco is going for the defense, but Moot Elm with a nice little pass over to Booted. Booted passing it back to Moot Elm, and Moot Elm getting the goal.
Yeah, and just like that, we see, again, this sort of cooperation that comes out because, even if you don't get the goal, you do get points for the assist, right? So always important to do what you can to contribute in any capacity to the game.
Yeah, and we've got about a minute and 15 seconds left. A good kickoff by Coco Wiz, getting the ball into Orange territory, knocking back Moot Elm a little bit, but Moot Elm with a nice little play through. Amur Skull doesn't want that ball going past, though, and a nice play by Broke and Amur Skull, trading the ball back and forth to keep it in the corner, keep it away from the net.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in the last minute of play. It looks like it's deep in the blue territory. I mean, ball has been for most of the game just due to Orange's offensive capability. And just as we say that, Oranges Are Yummy with a great pass through to Moot Elm, who comes absolutely flying in.
Yeah, and that was a good try at the clear by Broke, but that resource kind of getting the better of them, not having enough boost to clear it before Moot Elm is able to kind of come zooming in from the back.
Yeah, so it looks like, you know, a bit of almost like, you know, not floundering, but if you're the blue team, what do? You just see oppression against oppression as the orange team continues to come in to get these goals. I think for the last 40 seconds of play, I mean, honestly, the blue team might just want to, like, you know, go hard on defense, right? Try and save up those saves, because every shot they take, the orange team that is, on the goal, if blue team makes a save, they're earning points.
Yeah, and they're earning more points. Shots on goal only cost about 10, but a save is worth about 50. So having that kind of coming back for you is definitely a good one. And a big thing about this type of situation is how the players are able to come back from this, right? Mm-hmm. Something that all of our players are probably thinking about right now is this is just one of the games that are being played today. And all of these players that are going so offensively, they're going to be my teammate in a couple of games. Yeah,
and I mean, you never have to play this team again, right? This team is only going to be like this combination of players for this game. Next round going to be different, and we're going to see how the momentum actually carries from each side.
Absolutely, and we've got about 25 seconds left. It is currently 14-0 for the orange team, so a bit of a one-sided match, but that's bound to happen when we are randomly making up these teams. There are going to be some of those one-sided matches. There probably will be some later on in today's tournament as well. That's just what happens when we use every possible combination of players in the game.
But just as we say that, we see that Coco Wiz with a good demolition to kind of
great save by Amir Skull
points. And yeah, Amir Skull doing what we said, kind of capitalizing on the fact of actually, you know, scoring points off of the saves. As we say that, Buda comes with a good aerial goal, kind of dancing it into the net, and we'll see what comes in the last 10 seconds or so of play.
Yeah. It looks like this will probably be the final score. Maybe one more goal for either side that could come out of this final kickoff, but for the most part, this will probably be the end of the game.
A bit of a stale kickoff, so unlikely to see, but definitely a possibility. And just
good
like that,
block out by Broke.
No, I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anybody can get to it, so it looks like that will be the end of our game.
Perfect, and that gives the orange team the win there. Oranges are yummy, Booted, and Moot Elm. Amir Skull, Coco Wiz, and Broke had a great showing. They tried to get as many points as they could in that, but it was a tough one. Two of the leaders of today on the same team can be very oppressive, so great work by all of our players in that game. Now, what we are going to do next is, once again, we will be having a very short 2.5-minute break where we will be tallying up our totals, getting the current placements of each of the players for all of you viewing at home, and giving us a chance to give the players a little bit of a break so they can get some water and recharge any energy they may need. We're going to do a 4-minute break for this break so that we give our players a bit of extra time, maybe get a snack, you know, get back some of those calories that they've been expending using their brain so much in the game today.
Yeah. So we'll be back in about 4 minutes or so. Please stick with us and look forward to the next games.
We have a bit of an update on the scores for you and the placements. Honestly, not too much has shifted since the round 1 games.
Yep.
All the players are kind of in roughly the same spot, but taking over first place is Booted, followed by Moot Elm in second, and Oranges Are Yummy in third. After that, we have Amur Skull in fourth. Then we have Broke in fifth, and Coco Wiz currently in sixth, but there are still 6 games left to play, so plenty of room for Coco Wiz to make that upset comeback. Everyone loves an underdog story.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw even in the last game, in the games prior, we saw Booted or Moot Elm kind of taking a bit of a point-scoring lead. But in that last game, on that team, Oranges Are Yummy absolutely thrived, right? So everybody might have that chance, assuming they find the right order or right teammate to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a reminder, we will be having a giveaway that will be happening after this round. So during our break after the round, we will be having a short stream giveaway. But we have 2 more games before that giveaway will come to fruition. So a lot to be excited about. Now, for our beginning game number 1 of round 3, we are going to have the team of Booted, Broke, and Amur Skull. And they're going to be taking on Moot Elm, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz. And as we were talking about, those list of players, Oranges Are Yummy and Moot Elm have been putting on a bit of a show. Coco Wiz could maybe rack up a lot of points from this using that play that their teammates are able to bring.
Yeah, or we look at a player like Amur Skull, we know a bit more of a defensive expert. If you have the opportunity, you could be racking up points really quickly, right? We saw in the last game with the number of goals coming at the orange net. My memory might not be the best, but at one of the nets, obviously. Blue net, actually, I believe.
Yeah, it was the blue net.
The blue net, yeah. Amur Skull, getting some good saves and finding ways to reclaim points, right? So it would be interesting to see how these new teams actually impact how everybody performs and what role they take in this game. Before we get into the next game, it looks like all of the players are getting ready, and we shouldn't be too far along. Obviously, we want to get right back into the action, and it looks like it's a bit more of a sunny day. The skies have cleared for this game, so we'll see what comes.
Absolutely. So we will be having Booted with Broke and Amur Skull on the blue team, and we will have Moot Elm with Oranges Are Yummy and Coco Wiz on the orange team for game number 5, game 1, round 3 of the quarterly Edsports tournament.
Definitely. So be exciting to see how this game shakes out. You said Booted, Moot Elm, and Amur
Booted,
Skull.
Broke, and Amur Skull.
Oh, Booted, Broke, and Amur Skull.
I know. A lot of really similar sounding names.
Yeah.
Definitely getting a tongue workout for Mac and I today with all of these little tongue twisters going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's running hotter, the cars or our names, or our voices, we should say. But it'll be interesting to see how this game shakes out. And we'll see how the players kind of get into it. It looks like everybody is getting ready to join in.
Yep, players are joining the team.
To the spectate and see what comes in this game.
Perfect. So it looks like the players are on the team. Booted, Amur Skull, and Broke on the blue team. Moot Elm, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz on the orange team. And kickoff going. Now, the blue team all playing a little bit more defensive here, trying to make sure that orange team doesn't get that victory. But a good follow-up by Moot Elm off of the kickoff gives orange team a quick goal. Unfortunately, Booted wasn't able to keep the ball out of Moot Elm's play, just missed that tip to keep it defensively.
Yeah.
So Moot Elm was able to get a bit of a breakaway.
Yeah, a bit of a lucky goal there. Not to discredit, of course, what they're doing, but you can see that not really any players were ready for that. You can see they all kind of converge at the end. Be interesting to see what comes next. It looks like orange team taking a bit more of an offensive stance this time. Moot Elm with a good bump, but
Amur Skull with a great save, just like you were saying. That defensive ability to get those points, get those saves against the really offensive-minded team that is Moot Elm, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz right now.
Yeah, so we'll see Oranges Are Yummy chasing this ball as, they're... Maybe Oranges Are Yummy thinks the ball isn't orange, considering how much they're chasing it. but you definitely see that they are doing what they can to make sure that that ball stays near that blue goal at all times.
Something we haven't talked about, but maybe Oranges Are Yummy is getting a bit of a boost being on the orange team these past couple of games.
Could be, or maybe they have some orange slices on hand, keep
great
those calories up.
Great way to bring back that energy. That was always a favorite in the mid-game of soccer in my youth.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Or you have, healthy snack, but it gives you what you need. And it looks like, unfortunately, there's a bunch of the whole...
Big saves, big shots, lots of plays happening, but no goal out of the whole thing. Great save by Booted and Amir Skull, keeping the blue team out of harm's way. Booted with a nice offensive play, but knocked up by Moot Elm, I believe that was, just before the net. Coco Wiz trying to get that hit, followed up by Oranges Are Yummy. And Oranges Are Yummy and Coco Wiz going for an offensive play, but a nice defensive play by Booted to
really
keep the ball safe.
fortunate rebound for the blue team there, and you can see Amir Skull.
Great shot, but Moot Elm was waiting for that save.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's you take one from me, I'll take one from you, and we'll see what comes as we follow the ball deep into orange territory. But a rebound kind of knocks it again back onto the other side of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is looking like a really even game compared to the last game that we saw.
Yeah.
But this is looking like it could be anyone's game. We may see actually our second overtime of the night.
They're definitely holding that kind of it's looking that way at this point. So we'll see what comes as the ball kind of dribbles a little towards the orange net. A good kind of bump by Booted, but
Moot Elm again with
there
the
to
save.
it.
Moot Elm may have taken it a little personal when we said they were more offensive minded, showing us a nice couple of saves this game, and that I can do it all.
Exactly. You need me to play defense, I'll play defense. You need me to play offense, I'll play offense. And again, that awareness of what you need to do in your team is really crucial to success in this format.
Absolutely. So we are taking a look at Broke going for that offensive play. A nice try at the defense by Orange is Yummy, but Broke is able to squeeze it by. Orange is Yummy following it up, though, trying to clear that ball, going deep into the blue corner. And Orange is Yummy, not able to get the ball off that aerial there. The Amir Skull back in the defensive zone, keeping that ball out from Oranges Are Yummy's attempted shot, but the ball is still in the blue field, trying to tip it out. A nice little tap on the pass by Amir Skull there to get a bit of distance, but a good follow-up by Coco Wiz and Oranges Are Yummy. A nice shot. Coco Wiz with the assist to Oranges Are Yummy. Unfortunately, Booted was not able to make a nice enough clear on that. Amir Skull had a nice save on the original shot by Coco Wiz, but unfortunately the bounce went to Oranges Are Yummy, leading to the second goal for the orange team. Nice assist by Coco Wiz to bring it up. Yeah,
again, it definitely showing again that, the blue team here playing a little bit more defensive, but really keeping orange team at bay. We see the determined kind of, again, oppressive offense of Oranges Are Yummy in particular, but blue team managing to keep it kind of still, and it's only 2 goals, and with a minute on the clock, you can easily make that up.
Ooh, and a nice demolition by Oranges Are Yummy, taking Amir Skull out of the play in the offensive zone for the blue team. Broke trying to get a nice shot on the net, but unfortunately not able to have any follow-up there by Booted and Amir Skull, as Amir Skull was still in the demolition. But a nice little play by Oranges Are Yummy gets the goal number 3 for the orange team.
Yeah, and we can see that, Amir Skull doing what they can to get back there to defend, but just a little bit too quick. And actually, it looked like a bit of Booted was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, as they actually knocked that goal into their own net. But we'll see what comes after we come this.
Ooh, a nice save by Broke, but unfortunately Moot Elm was there for the rebound on it, getting the 4th goal for the orange team.
Yeah.
A nice try by Broke to clear it, but just unfortunately wasn't able to clear it quite enough. And Moot Elm read that save coming, and was able to capitalize.
The save definitely good, but unfortunately bumps their teammate Booted, who maybe could have gotten there to save it. But we'll see. A good kickoff from the orange team.
A good save by Booted.
And it looks like deep into Blue's corner. Coco Wiz kind of flying around, trying to make sure that they're in position.
And Moot Elm with a nice follow-up, leaving the corner for Oranges Are Yummy and Coco Wiz to kind of get that ball centered and follow up on the play from that scrap in the corner.
And we said, just 30 seconds ago, it was 0-2. Blue could come back. Well, it looks like, Orange has decided to turn on for the time being, as there's another good shot and almost a quick goal almost immediately off the kickoff. Looks like Amir Skull with a good save, coming to make sure that the ball doesn't get too close to the goal. Bit of an uncomfortable position for them. And a nice hit
clear
down.
by Amir Skull. That looks like it's hitting the post.
Oh, I was going to say a bit of an unfortunate outcome for the Orange team, but we'll see what comes in the last 10 seconds of play. Going to be very difficult for Blue team to make something happen here, but Booted chasing the ball, and it's not over until it hits the ground at 0 seconds in. We'll
see if we can get a last-minute goal. A nice save by Booted to stop that. And the Orange team takes the win on this one of Moot Elm, Oranges Are Yummy, and Cocoa Whiz.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
so we will be moving into game number 2 for round 3. And the teams are going to be Booted, Amur Skull, and Cocoa Whiz on the Orange team against Moot Elm, Broke, and Oranges Are Yummy on the Blue team. So again, that's Booted, Amur Skull, and Cocoa Whiz on the Orange team against Moot Elm, Broke, and Oranges Are Yummy on the Blue team. So Oranges Are Yummy is going to lose that orange buff that they've been having these last couple of games.
Yeah,
we'll see if that slows them down.
I was going to say, we'll see how much that affects them.
All right, but it looks like our players are just getting ready for the next round of the game. We're making sure we write down all of the scores for our players so that we can see. And just like we were saying, something that we can see from the score of this game, although Booted and the Blue team only had 0 goals, Amir Skull and Booted had a lot of saves there. They were able to rack up a lot of points in that game in order to make sure to have that score total at the end. So even though they didn't get any goals, they definitely are still in it for those points.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see what comes, as the sun rises, it so must fall as we get into our nightly game here. We'll see how the teams shake out as everybody gets ready to join in the next play.
So we want to make sure we are getting Booted, Amur Skull, and Cocoa Whiz on the Orange team, Moot Elm, Oranges Are Yummy, and Broke on the Blue team. It looks like we may be having a little bit of technical difficulty from Cocoa Whiz. I did see that they disconnected from the last lobby. Hopefully they'll be able to rejoin into the lobby shortly. We'll hop into the spectate so that we can watch the action as it goes. Again, because this is a tournament, because there is a limited amount of time, we are saying that the points that the AI scores before the player joins the lobby will count towards those players' points. So we are keeping track of kind of what points the AI may get until Cocoa Whiz joins. I did see Cocoa Whiz join the game, so they are back in that orange and white car driving around again, helping out the Orange team, trying to get that first goal of this game. Game number 2 in round 3.
Yeah, the ball seems to be bouncing here around the blue goal, but a good shot out by, I believe that was Moot Elm.
Nice little knock up by Booted in order to keep the ball away from the net.
But unfortunately can't get as it gets launched deep into the blue end. We'll see how Oranges Are Yummy. The ball just bouncing over them, unfortunately.
Ooh, and a little bit high. Wasn't able to get the boost going in time. And Amur Skull with a great follow-up. A nice little foresty type of goal celebration on Amur Skull there. And a nice goal by Amir Skull, giving the Orange team the first point of the game.
You could say that goal was only natural for Amir Skull, and we'll see what gets this kickoff as Blue team wins, or Orange team wins, excuse me. A bit of a stalemate, but it looks like it falls deep into sort of, no man's land right in the center of the field as the ball continues to bounce, kind of almost playing ping pong back and forth on either side of the goal.
Ooh, but a nice little bounce off the wall for Oranges Are Yummy. Gets the goal, ties it up with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the play for this game.
It looks like the orange debuff hasn't affected them too much. We'll see what happens as we get into the next 3 minutes or so. About 2.5 minutes passed, and we're at 1-1 each, and we'll see what comes. Oh, a bit of a fake out leads to an almost dominating kickoff win for Cocoa Whiz. But it could be a calculated move by the blue team as we see a good shot coming from Moot Elm.
Ooh, Moot Elm with a follow-up after that shot to get a demolition on Cocoa Whiz. But Cocoa Whiz is back in the action, ready to go, and is able to get the ball, tips it to Booted. But Oranges Are Yummy is there on the defense. Moot Elm getting a shot, but it's just off the post, and doesn't count as a goal, but does get a shot on net for Moot Elm. A nice shot by Booted off the corner. A nice assist by Coco Wiz. Those two seem to be working together for a lot of that play or a lot of that game or ball there. And it leads to a goal, giving the Orange team a bit of a lead after Amir Skull's first goal on the team.
Definitely, and we talked about this all day, right? Finding that team you can thrive with. Maybe Booted and Coco Wiz, they have that chemistry. We'll see what happens as the ball gets cleared right in front of Orange Net. Very dangerous position to be in.
It's a bit high. That is a tough one to do, and it looks like Moot Elm didn't actually have any boost to try and follow up with it. Oranges are yummy, trying to get another center, but isn't able to. A quick clear, but the ball stalls in the middle, but Amir Skull taking it and keeping it moving towards the blue field. Oranges are yummy, though, says, I don't need the ball, I just need you, and takes out Amir Skull with a demolition, leading to Moot Elm getting a goal.
Yeah, calm, cool, and collected for Amir Skull, but unfortunately not enough as Moot Elm gets a great shot in. And we're about halfway through our regulation time, but we are at that 2-2 even score, so we might be looking at overtime too here, Rob.
That would be a tough one for the teams. I'm sure they want to try and win this in regulation. They don't want to give the opponents that 50 points for that overtime loss. So they will be eager and trying their best to get their teeth into the ball in order to try and get that goal.
Yeah, as you bring that up, I mean, we look at our 2-point leaders right now, Booted and Moot Elm. There's only about 70 points between them. So, I mean, you know, if you're Booted and Moot Elm gets 50 points for an overtime loss, you do not want to be in that situation, right?
Yeah, that just closes that gap and makes it that much more of a nail-biter towards the end of the games today. But a nice little rally going between these two teams, keeping the ball deep in the blue territory, but Moot Elm is able to get it clear, Booted with a nice stop.
And we see again the collected nature of Amir Skull coming in. Great shot on goal, but Oranges are yummy with a good save to keep it. I mean, I think that's one of the things about Amir Skull you need to be aware of is they're a bit of a sleeper player.
And on the other end, not only did they have that nice shot that Oranges are Yummy shot the ball that time, and Amir Skull's like, anything you can do, I can do better, and tries to stop the ball, gets that save, and a big back and forth between those two players who are jockeying for that third place position right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, again, the awareness of these teams, just knowing that where you need to be and when you need to be there, really important. As a good shot gets launched deep into Orange territory, but
a good save by Booted, keeps it high, but it's not out of danger yet. Oranges are Yummy trying to follow it in.
It's like, I can do it again, I can do this all day. This ball is not entering this goal, not while I'm sitting in it.
And a nice clear by Moot Elm gets it deep into the Orange territory, but Booted with a nice hit off the wall, puts it right back into the midfield area and follows it up, getting it deep in the corner, trying to get a goal off their own play. Unfortunately, the ball bounces a little bit too high and is getting cleared back to the midfield by the blue team. But Amir Skull with a demolition off screen.
And great awareness from Moot Elm, trying to get a little bit of a bump to kind of, keep it outside of the defender's reach, but just a little too high, can't get it in. Looks like Amir Skull is right there.
And Amir Skull getting a nice goal. And I'm sure Moot Elm was a little bit frustrated with the fact that the ball went just that bit too high off the crossbar.
Yeah.
And gives Amir Skull a chance for that return or response, putting the Orange team in a lead with only 30 seconds remaining in this game. And with how back and forth it is, that could be enough to secure the win.
Yeah, but on the blue team, we have to remember we have both Moot Elm and Oranges are Yummy. Both of them can be really hyper-offensive when they need to be. We'll see if they can make that change in the last 15 seconds of play. Going to be a difficult task.
Ooh, but a nice shot by Amir Skull using the aerial, trying to get it over the defenders, but Oranges are Yummy is there to stop that play. Booted getting it high on the side, able to go over Broke. The ball bounces in the middle. It's in the air, but it looks like that is the end for the game. So that means that Booted, Amir Skull, and Coco Wiz take the W with some very nice defensive play by everyone on the team, getting a few of those points and leading to them. Maybe Booted's trying to put a bit of a gap between themselves and Moot Elm. They're a little worried with how close, as you said, they were. But it was a really exciting game between the two. I honestly thought it was going to go to overtime, and then they had that really nice goal with 30 seconds remaining.
Definitely. And we noticed that in the score breakdown right now, everybody's sort of contributing a little more, right? Like everybody kind of closer, and you can see that this game was definitely all players on every side of the field working as they can to keep the game even and competitive.
Absolutely. So what we are going to be doing now is we are going to be going to a break. This break is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to actually be 5 minutes. And this is also going to be our time where we are going to have our live stream giveaway. So any of our competitors who are participating that want to have a chance to win that live stream giveaway, or any of our viewers that are looking for a chance to win that live stream giveaway, make sure you head to the live stream and you will need to input a specific word to try and enter for a chance to win. Now, this break is going to be when you can input that key word. So we're going to tell it to you in just a second, but make sure you do enter that word for a chance to win our STEM Minds prize pack, where we are going to once again give out some swag like hats and earphones, all with STEM Minds branding. Got a little bit of a mug here as a cheers. Yeah. We've got some build kits for a laser light type of build, as well as free access to our esports course where you can learn all about the esports industry, as well as we do have some practice regimes, some ways to try and improve in a variety of games like Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers, League of Legends, and Valorant.
Yeah, and again, one thing we love to do is we love the community of esports. So if you could, if you like what you see, you like what we sort of bring to the table here at STEM Minds, make sure to follow us on our socials. You should be seeing them throughout the stream, as well as subscribing to the live stream so you don't miss, or the YouTube channel, excuse me, so you don't miss any future live streams. And of course, let us know what you're interested in. We talked about a little bit creating, maybe Mario Kart or something to that effect. Really, esports, as we said, it's a community, and if it's something you're passionate about, tell us and how we can work together to make your dreams a reality.
So make sure you keep an eye out. After this break, we will be having that live stream giveaway for a chance to win. Sam will be coming on, one of our coworkers, that will be able to tell us all about the live stream giveaway and how exactly you have a chance to win. So stay tuned. We will be right back after these few minutes for that live stream giveaway to come out, and Sam will be here with more details on how you can win that giveaway. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. With me, we may have noticed Mac is gone, but we have lovely Sam here to help us out with our live stream giveaway. So, Sam?
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in to our esports tournament. Great to see such collaboration and such enthusiasm from the players today. We always love an opportunity to be able to share our love of gaming and our sort of passion for education in esports with the community too. So thank you all for participating or joining or supporting our players, however you are tuning in today. That being said, as Rob and Mac mentioned, we do have a live stream giveaway that we are going to be doing now, where you have the chance to win our STEM Minds prize pack. Included in that STEM Minds prize pack is some awesome STEM Minds swag like we have here. We got earphones, we have a notebook, a pen that can also double as a tablet pen, which is one of my favorite features.
It's very handy.
Very, very handy. As well as a chance to, like Rob said, get free access to our esports course. So you too can help to sort of boost your skills for Rocket League, Smash, whatever games you like, and keep your skills going from thenceforward. So
Absolutely.
To enter our giveaway, all you have to do is go to our live stream, which many of you are watching right now, and add the keyword Edsports into the chat. That is EDSPORTS, Edsports. Enter that in. We'll be doing a random draw for our prize pack here. And yeah, we'll give everyone about a couple minutes to put that Edsports keyword in there and get their chance to win our prize pack for today's stream.
So while we're giving them a chance to enter that keyword, the keyword Edsports, EDSPORTS, don't want to misspell it and lose your chance to win.
It's true.
I just want to know, Sam, what is your favorite part of esports?
My favorite esports, I think, is how varied the industry actually is. A lot of times when people think about esports or they talk about esports, the only thing they really consider is that position of the e-athlete, the gamer, the one who's actually going and competing. But really, the esports industry itself, or any sort of event like this, wouldn't actually happen without all those other elements that you need to include. It can go anywhere from marketing to technology to the actual game devs who are building those games and putting that technological support out as
Absolutely.
well.
Thank you, all the devs out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the biggest thing. So, you know, if you're a young student watching out there, you're interested in gaming, but maybe you're not so sure about feeling like you're going to be in the spotlight and being that e-athlete, there's so many different ways that you can actually be involved in esports without being the center of attention, quote unquote, that makes it a very valuable experience for you as well.
Absolutely.
So we're going to give everyone about 30 more seconds to enter the giveaway there. Again, that keyword is Edsports, EDSPORTS. And we'll choose our winner in about 30 seconds or so.
Speaking of giveaways, something that I love personally about esports, and especially that I'm passionate about when it comes to esports, and this isn't always about your traditional esport, but the amount of charity and great causes that are out there in the esports industry. One of the big ones that I personally try and tune into every single year is a large speedrunning event where they donate all of their proceeds from that event to Doctors Without Borders and fighting charity, or fighting cancer, not fighting charity, fighting cancer through charity and researching ways that we can prevent as well as cure that disease.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of ways that, even those of you at home can get involved too. One of my favorite charity esports or just gaming events that I participate in most of the year is one called Extra Life, which you can actually basically just game for an extended amount of time, fundraise for local hospitals like sick kids to help medical research as well. So a lot of times gaming gets a bad rap, but it really does have a lot of ways that it can help communities grow and flourish.
Absolutely. And with that, I believe we are going to be cutting off entries for that prize pack. So we are going to be randomly choosing one of those names. We will get that name for you shortly. And while we do so, I just got to ask, as someone who is not in the chair, I've been super excited about today. I know Mac's been super excited today. How are you feeling about the tournament so far?
Oh, I'm definitely excited. I mean, a lot of times I come on to do these giveaways, but, the team and I are always sort of cheering everybody on in the background, watching the action. And I think I'm just really excited to see how things turn out. With the structure of this tournament, everyone is playing against each other, but they're also collaborating with each other, like you said. So that dynamic is really changing game to game amongst our players. And it's awesome to see how our players sort of keep themselves agile with how they're going to use their own particular strategies to get that top score and hopefully win first place prize.
Absolutely. Today's enemy, tomorrow's friend, as
true.
it were.
Very,
so
very true.
We are going to be getting that name for all of you who have participated in just a few seconds. We will let you know who won the prize pack, and we will be reaching out to that person in the chat so that we can get information so that we make sure you receive the prize pack that you have won.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's a great point, Rob. So for those of you who have already entered while we're drawing our winner, the way that you're going to receive your prize pack is we'll reach out to in the chat, send us an email so we know how to contact you, and then I will be in touch with next steps of how you can pick up your prize and get started showcasing your awesome swag, learning some esports, and building a cool laser light kit.
I honestly am so jealous that I'm on the broadcast, so I can't enter myself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those cool things where not only do you have a cool laser light kit to have and, show in whatever space you may be, but you also get to build it yourself, which is a pretty cool opportunity, I think.
Yeah, and it would be a pretty sweet one if you started maybe getting into the esports industry, maybe even setting up a stream. You can have it kind of in the background, like, oh yeah, this little thing I just won it during an esports tournament.
Absolutely, absolutely. Setup is key. So I think we have our winner. So drum roll, please.
So our winner for today's prize pack is Rocker League. So congratulations, Rocker League. Thank you to everyone who entered. Unfortunately, Rocker League, you are the winner for everyone else, but congratulations go to you, and we'll be reaching out so that we can get in contact and make sure you receive all the swag as well as that free access to the esports course on Steam Hub.
Awesome. And yeah, thank you all for joining us in our live stream today and for entering our giveaway. I'm going to let Rob and Mac here take us back to the action. So yeah, stay tuned for more exciting games coming up and see who will be our next Rocket League champion.
We'll be back in about 1 minute, and then we'll get started with round 4, game number 7 of our event today. And we've only got 4 games left for our players to earn points, so I think we're going to see some really intense games for these kind of final 4.
It really is anybody's game. Anything could happen.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back in 1 minute with our next round of Rocket League. welcome back. And with me once again, we have Mac back to give us that color commentary that we so desperately need. We've got the Mac Attack back on the desk. And thank you so much to Sam. And congratulations to Rocker League for winning the giveaway. And it's time to jump back into the action.
Yeah, well, I definitely couldn't miss any of this action. Like you said, Rob, it is, I mean, the cars have been flying literally and also figuratively, and the points have been climbing too. So we'll see how the players, maybe they cooled a little bit on that break. Maybe they took the time to rev themselves back up and start earning some major accolades.
Well, speaking of the points going up, we are going to give a bit of a rundown on where our players currently are positioned in the game so far. We're going to be giving you this rundown while we get all the players into our next bracket. So, in first place, still holding on to that position after those couple of games, is Booted, maintaining that first place position, but very close behind, only about 100 to 200 points behind, is Moot Elm. So the gap did widen a little bit, but there are 4 games left to go. Yep. Now, after Moot Elm, we do have Oranges Are Yummy in 3rd place, followed by Amur Skull in 4th place, still both jockeying to break into that top 2. And then in 5th, we have Broke, and following up, we have Coco Wiz in last place, but closing that gap. Those last couple of games definitely helped.
Slight correction with you. Coco Wiz actually overtook Broke.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I misread.
No problem. I mean, honestly, as we said, sometimes it just takes one game. We saw, Coco Wiz had a good game last round. We saw Oranges Are Yummy have that flyaway game a while, right? So anything could happen, and we'll get into the next match here as we again have new teams.
Yeah, speaking of the new teams for this match, we are going to have Booted, Moot Elm, and Amur Skull on the blue team, and Broke, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz on the orange team. So Oranges Are Yummy, he's getting that orange buff back.
Dangerous place to put Oranges Are Yummy on the orange team, but we talk about a dangerous team. I think blue team this time pretty scary. We have 2, offensive threats, and that awareness of Amur Skull being almost even just being able to sit back as the defensive bastion could really show some support for their team.
Absolutely, and it just knowing our players, they know, Amur Skull's got our back. We can even go more aggressive, right?
Exactly.
So it looks like our players are just entering their teams right now. We're going to hop into spectate so that we are ready to go, and we will be getting started in this game.
All right, and it looks like the game's just underway. A bit of a good shot coming deep into orange territory.
Ooh, a nice save by Broke on Moot Elm's attempted goal there. Getting it deep into the blue territory. Oranges Are Yummy rocking a bit of a pink card this round. I guess they wanted a bit of a color change over that break. Interesting way to spend the break. Not that I'm opposed. It's always nice to see a flashy color.
Maybe
like that.
Oranges Are Yummy. Peaches can be yummy too. So we'll see what Oranges Are Yummy. Maybe, the color power up. Who knows?
Yeah, could also throw the opponents off, maybe trick them a little bit.
True. And just as we say that, Booty gets a good shot, but unfortunately just wide. Oranges Are Yummy going high to try and clear it. But it looks like, and a great shot. Good awareness from Booted. Capitalizing on the ball, kind of sliding out of the corner there for a nice...
Gets a nice little angled shot in.
Lateral shot, yeah.
A nice try by Oranges Are Yummy, but we saw that boost ran out on Oranges Are Yummy, so it wasn't able to follow up like they wanted to.
Yeah, and that's one of the important things about the game, right? It's always about that resource management. If you can get to the ball faster than your opponent, I mean, that's really all you need. But as we say that, it looks like Moot Elm with a bit of a quick, almost tricky little goal, catching what seems to be everybody unawares.
Yeah, Oranges Are Yummy had a great save on that first aerial shot that I believe Booted sent in off the kickoff, but Moot Elm with a great follow-up there, bringing it to 2-0, leading into our third kickoff, which looks like it's going to the orange team. The blue team's deciding to hang back a little bit, maybe try and stock up on that power-up, as we just saw Booted did, and take a bit more of a defensive approach. Maybe they're trying to make sure that the enemy team doesn't get too many points through goals, trying to stay more secure in their play.
And just like that, Broke with another great save. You saw Broke kind of just waiting in the goal, playing that goalie position. And I mean, especially in that format, completely viable strategy. You be racking up those points, making those saves.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where Moot Elm thought they had a pretty good breakaway, thought they got past all the defenders, and then Broke was able to come out, get that save, get those points, and stop that aggression.
And as we talk about aggression, here comes Amir Skull, a bit of a fake, but just gets knocked away by Oranges Are Yummy.
And a good clear by the orange team, getting it deep in blue, but Moot Elm is able to follow it up, bring it back to the orange corner, trying to slow down, give their team a bit of time to catch up. But a nice save by Coco Wiz and Broke, keeping the ball out, following up by Orange is Yummy to try and push it deeper into blue territory. The blue team with a great defense, though,
good
coming
shot
back in.
there, but just a little wide, made sure of by, I believe that was Moot Elm.
Coco Wiz with a nice clear, taking away the power they had, but Booted and Moot Elm following up, getting it into the orange, and we see an aerial play by Booted, one of their favorites, but unfortunately missed it a little, lost some of the boost, and it was able to be cleared, but keeping it deep in the enemy field. Booted is trying to, but it looks like it lost it a little bit. Not able to keep as much control as they may have wanted of the ball there. Coco Wiz trying to push it into the middle.
Yeah, and it looks like Booted is really all over this ball, but it's not exactly, I mean, a little bit better now, but a great shot.
That was a fast one.
Moot Elm. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was, kind of, I know I'm a little bit behind points. Maybe I come in and steal one from you.
Yeah, and just, you could see Broke and Orange is Yummy were both in the net waiting for that shot to come, but it was just such a high speed one. They added so much boost, adding a little bit of a jump to give it that extra kick on the shot. It just caught them off guard.
Yeah, and there's another good shot, just high. Moot Elm there to, make the save if needed, but it looks as though the backboard is going to be doing it for them today.
Great control by Orange is Yummy to bring the ball down from the bounce and get a bit of control back to their team. But a good defense by Amir Skull, keeping them away from the ball as much as they can.
Orange is Yummy knocks it back into blue, but again, it looks like a rare miss for both Booted and Moot Elm. And the orange team's kind of like just dribbling the ball down here. We'll see what happens. Orange is Yummy goes for a shot. Unfortunately, gets knocked away by Booted as Moot Elm takes it deep into the orange end. Amir Skull waiting at the back for the rebound, but looks like Booted is already there. So we'll see what comes. Again, that awareness kind of hanging back, getting ready to play defense if the ball seems to head that way. A good cross section there and a nice demolition by Broke.
And Coco Wiz with a good save, keeping the ball out of danger, making sure that the ball doesn't stay in front of the net too long. But a nice play by Moot Elm, a nice little dribble in the air, getting it to that bottom right corner, moving the ball just enough when they see, oh, there are defenders in the net. I need to try and get around them. Tries to get under the ball, push it a little bit to the right, and it works out in their favor, getting that 4-0 lead for the blue team of Booted, Moot Elm, and Amir Skull.
Yeah, so about a minute 30 left in play. We'll see what happens for the orange team. This is a pretty good place to be, but just like that, it gets launched all the way across the field. We'll see what Broke can do instead. Booted, a good shot, but
Great save by Coco Wiz.
Save. But the save does not necessarily equal the clear in this situation.
When we can see Orange is Yummy was able to take the boost, causing Booted to have to back off a little bit from that play, give Orange team a little bit of breathing room. So a great use of the resource there by Orange is Yummy and the Orange team as a whole to keep that pressure out of their zone for a little bit.
And we can see that both teams are really vying for control in these last minute of play or so as they kind of turn from playing soccer into bumper cars as the teams are going at it. But it seems as though, your orange team may be taking a little bit more of a pensive approach, trying to be a little more dedicated or deliberate, rather, with their approach. But Booted, you see, like, eyes locked on that ball, and there's a good lob shot. Moot Elm there to tip it in.
Ooh, Broke tried to get the save, but just a bit of an awkward bounce. Wasn't able to get in position quite quick enough, so the ball was able to go over and gets Moot Elm, I believe, the third goal of their game for today. Or for this game.
Yeah. And we'll see, if I'm not mistaken, that's some Portuguese pride for Coco Wiz, so shout out to Portugal. But we'll see what happens and just like that, Booted coming in with another shot of their own. Moot Elm does get the assist, though.
Yeah, and a nice goal by Booted and Moot Elm. Again, these two did play in the last tournament together, so they have some synergies coming into these games.
Sure.
So they are a strong team whenever they get paired up together. Now we are going into our kickoff Looks like the blue team is rushing in. Coco Wiz trying to contest, but the blue team manages to get there first. I believe that was Emir Skull who got there. But a nice little shot by Orange is Yummy, but saved over the net by Moot Elm and booted. Emir Skull with a nice little aerial to keep it deep in the orange field, but a nice clear by Oranges are Yummy, keeping it popped up, keeping it away, but the ball touches the ground, giving the blue team of booted, Moot Elm, and Emir Skull the win in this game. Now, we are going to move into our 8th game of the day, so we are going to be moving into game number 2 for round 4 in just a bit. And in that game, we are going to have the teams of Booted, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz facing off against Moot Elm, Broke, and Emir Skull. So this should be a pretty interesting game to see which team is able to come out on top. I think it's going to be a really close one with how the teams are divided up. And it should be a pretty interesting one going into it. So just so that the viewers are aware, we will be having Booted, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz on the orange team. And then Moot Elm, Broke, and Emir Skull on the blue team.
Yeah, and we'll see how that kind of changes things up. I mean, as we saw even here, Broke kind of making a more dominant performance in this game. Maybe finding a team that they really...
thrived.
Yeah, they thrive in, or they really gel with. I mean, we could see even kind of later down the line, maybe which team members you like to play with, which ones you kind of work well with, and maybe in a more traditional format, you have some new teammates to consider.
Absolutely. So again, we are getting the teams set up. So we've got Moot Elm, Emir Skull, and Broke on the blue team, Booted, Coco Wiz, and Oranges Are Yummy on the orange team. And we're going to just jump right into the action. We're going to start spectating. The game is starting, kickoff is happening, and we are ready to go.
And just like that, a bit of a stalemate of a kickoff, right sort of in no man's land, but goes deep into orange territory as Emir Skull kind of chases it down, but unfortunately can't quite make it. And it looks like Booted with a great shot.
Off of that Oranges Are Yummy assist. Yeah. And it's looking like a quick goal by Orange team, but we could see it was just a little bit out of reach of Moot Elm there, trying to get the ball and clear it. So that could have easily swayed in any other direction. And we do know Moot Elm and Emir Skull, both of them have been playing pretty defensive games in some of these matches. So one goal, I don't think they're too worried about.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. It could just be also, the one that got away, as it were. We'll see how the teams kind of adjust to their new teammates and sort of the new approach they take to play in this game.
A nice save by Broke, who, like you said, was showing that they are getting more focused on the defensive. But before the blue team's ready to set up, Oranges Are Yummy and Booted get another quick goal to kind of aggress when the blue team's out of position.
And you see Broke was there waiting to make the save, but that's a tricky shot to save. Kind of bounces directly off the crossbar, and we'll see. A bit of a fake out from the orange team, but Moot Elm's
all three orange players went for the kickoff, and Moot Elm had pretty close to a breakaway, but Booted was able to get back in time.
It looks like Oranges Is Yummy coming and deep into the blue area, sort of chasing the ball, but good clear from Emir Skull as Coco Wiz knocks it back in. Moot Elm with a good hit away, Booted waiting, but gets bumped by his own teammate. We'll see what happens as, again, Emir Skull kind of keeps it deep in orange territory, but Booted right on top of this thing, chasing it all the way back down into the blue zone.
And something that's a little interesting, I'm not sure if I may be misremembering, but I believe Oranges Are Yummy specifically is actually using a different car for this game than the previous game, that pink car that we saw previously. So maybe choosing the vehicle based more on their teammates or their opponents to try and maximize their score in these games, which is an interesting strategy, and one that, if is true, would be really exciting to see and something we didn't even think about.
A great shot there from Booted, but Moot Elm coming in with a clutch save.
Emir Skull knocking it out to the corner. Coco is just missing it, but Booted and Oranges Are Yummy trying to follow up. Booted getting the ball and tipping it over Broke, going in deep, but doesn't have the angle to try and get the shot. Oranges Are Yummy looking to follow up, but Moot Elm with a great shot.
I don't think anyone's getting there in time for that one.
That's one problem with an aggressive idea and trying to get that ball as much as possible. We saw Oranges Are Yummy were setting up for the Booted cross, but that cross never came, and Moot Elm was able to capitalize on those positions, much like how the orange team capitalized on their second goal.
Definitely. We'll see what comes. We're about 2 minutes through the game now. And again, you notice the difference in approach and kickoff, where orange team whole squad's going in, and whereas the blue team, they just send one person, everybody else waiting back on defense. And it seems to be working out for them. I mean, if they can keep the wall up, the goals don't come in, you see that they're slowly chipping away. They just need a couple more of those far-off shots.
Ooh, a nice save by Muirskull. We did see that Booted had a bit of a demolition, but the player is back in action already. Muirskull trying to get that cross for one of their teammates, but Booted with a demolition on Moot Elm again.
And trying to get the save, but unfortunately gets... And it seems Booted is a bit on the warpath, getting demolitions left, right, and center.
Maybe that's a strategy. Booted does know Moot Elm is the closest behind in point total, so maybe trying to curb a bit of the aggression, willing to lose a goal or two.
Oh, but a great fly in from a Muirskull, a beautiful pass from Moot Elm as well. And
that was
like
just
that,
a very textbook play. Coco Wiz trying to get there in time, but wasn't able to get the height to block that shot. And just like that, it's tied up 2-2. Looks like Booted's strategy of trying to demolition Moot Elm didn't pay as much dividends as they were hoping. Moot Elm still gets the assist.
And a Muirskull with a great knock deep into orange corner, but it looks as though Oranges Are Yummy is there, but Moot Elm's there to stop. Oh, but a great little backflip from Booted to keep the ball out of the orange, or out of the blue control, excuse me.
And a nice little play by Muirskull, making sure that Oranges Are Yummy doesn't get a chance to get that easy shot. Moot Elm going for a bit of a demolition here on Oranges Are Yummy now, maybe taking a little bit of a playbook from Booted, but Oranges Are Yummy back in play with Booted, trying to clear it. Broke going for a demolition this time on Oranges Are Yummy. Bit of a bumper car game this round here.
Demolition derby.
Yeah, seems some players are thinking, well, we may not have the best advantage right now, but if we take out one of their players for a couple seconds, that can get us a bit of a foothold in the game.
And just like that, you see Booted tries to get a bit of a breakaway, but great awareness from the blue team, siphoning or cycling back. But Moot Elm there with another great save. And just like that, we talked about, every shot.
Great save by Booted.
Every shot that they take, if they make the save, the saver comes out with
the head
with the more point total, right? But a Muirskull, a great idea there, but unfortunately the bounce just doesn't work in their favor.
Ooh, a nice try by Muirskull to get the tip off there, but didn't unfortunately have enough momentum to really get the ball. Booted able to clear it to the corner. Moot Elm going for the ball, but manages to hit Coco Wiz instead. Another demolition in today's game.
There's another good little lob from a Muirskull.
Muirskull gets the shot and assist. Moot Elm gets the goal, and blue team takes the lead. 45 seconds remaining in the game.
Yeah, and I think, this is one of the things we see about that sort of cooperation or collaboration from the teams. A Muirskull and Moot Elm, have really come sort of into their own as partners. We noticed that just like that, they go from, aside from, the one far shot from Moot Elm, really quickly, the two of them working together, they come away with the lead. And it looks like there's another opportunity here. And Broke tries to go in, but unfortunately just gets bounced away. But a Muirskull...
That was really close by Broke. A nice shot, but unfortunately no one there to follow up on the post rebound. Oranges Are Yummy with a nice little aerial, and Moot Elm wasn't able to get there in time. Ties it up with 20 seconds left.
It looks like we're going into overtime again, Rob.
And aptly, the overtime theme starts playing from Rocket League itself to signal what may be happening. But there is 20 seconds left. We have one more kickoff before OT, and it could be a goal.
Saw that atomic model, a bit an elementary play right there. We'll see what happens in this last 15 seconds. Oranges Are Yummy coming in for a quick goal, but the blue team doing what they can to keep everything out of their zone. The last thing you want to do is lose your lead in the last 5 seconds of play. Looks like we have
it's
1
in
second
the air.
left.
Ooh, and it hits the ground just before it bounces in. That would have been a goal if there was time, unfortunately, but for a Muirskull, that was just out of time. So we are in overtime. That means the team that loses this will get those extra 50 points for pushing it to OT. A Muirskull with a nice little save there, trying to follow up with that shot they had right in the last second in regulation.
Yeah, and there it is, a great shot from Booted, taking them away with the win. But if your blue team can't be too upset, you still get an extra 50 points for a valiant effort.
Yeah, and that was a great game between the two teams. Really coming out there. I think a lot of players got a lot of points there on both sides of the teams. So it could be enough to shake up some of the standings.
I mean, for sure, we were talking about even just the saves being made. It looks like Booted leading for their team this round, and Moot Elm. I mean, again, even in these games, their point totals are so close. So it'll be really interesting to see how it shakes out in the final standings.
Yeah, and we've only got 2 more games left, and it's still could be anyone's game with how some of these point totals have been coming out of these games. Definitely a lot of players still in contention for that first place position, but we will be taking a brief 3-minute break so that we can give our players one final break before the end of the tournament today. We can total up the score so we know going into our final round who is in the lead, who is chasing, and how close behind they are, and so that our players are able to stretch their legs one final time before the game, our tournament kind of comes to a head. So we will be starting that break in right about now. We're going to be getting our score total ready, and then we'll be jumping in with our final 2 games for the day. So don't go too far. We only got a 3-minute break, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. Thank you for waiting for that short break. I know we all want to jump into the action, but we need to keep ourselves, in top shape for the final games.
I mean, some logistics as well. We got to calculate the scores and everything, make sure that everyone is being credited for all the wonderful work they've been doing so far.
Yeah, and speaking of the scores, our update going into the final 2 games of the tournament today are Booted in first, Moot Elm in second.
Close behind.
Vying for that top position. Followed up by Oranges Are Yummy in third and Amur Skull in fourth, which leads us to 5th place, Coco Whiz, and in 6th place, Broke. Now, our players are getting into the next game. We do have only 2 games left, but they are pretty close together in that score chart. A couple of good games by some of these players, and they could swap up that order in the standings and try and take a higher position in the poll.
Definitely. And it'll be interesting to see this last sort of team, once again, coming into the new environment, seeing sort of if our leaders or whoever's vying for kind of bumping up or bumping down on the leaderboard, how quickly they can, or how sort of driven they are to kind of overtake in this game. Maybe we'll see more aggressive play, more defensive play. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, and so for our game number 9, game 1 of round 5, we are going to have Booted, Moot Elm, and Coco Wiz on the blue team against Broke, Amur Skull, and Oranges Are Yummy on the orange team. So this is going to be the final chance for Booted and Moot Elm to work together in this tournament, as well as the final chance, I believe, for Oranges Are Yummy and Amur Skull to work together in this tournament.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, again, we know that both Booted and Moot Elm are right vying for that top spot. Wonder if, there'll be some friendly competition, let's say, in the team. A little bit of a rivalry of sorts.
Absolutely. So it looks like our players are getting into the game. We are going to switch over and start spectating. Get ready to go. It looks like Coco is maybe having a little bit of connection issues, so we do have the AI Fury right there, right now in the game for Coco Wiz, and hopefully they'll be able to connect very shortly. But our teams are going, and it is deep in the orange field. A bit of a snowy field today for this game number 9.
Yeah, and just like that, we see that there's already a demolition being made. It seems as though the players are really coming out here to, kind of scrap and get down and dirty to win or do whatever it takes to get as close as they can.
And we are following Coco Wiz right now, who was able to join and get into the game, making sure to clear that ball to the corner. And following up is Amur Skull, getting it deep into the blue field and trying to get that first goal of the game.
So as we see here, a good kind of hit off by Booted, Moot Elm coming in, but Oranges Are Yummy with a wonderful save and a good clear, getting it sort of right back into Blues territory.
Absolutely, and a nice shot by Oranges Are Yummy, but Moot Elm with the save, saying, you stop Booted, I'll stop you, and trying to figure out a way to get over the defensive line of Broke, Amur Skull, and Oranges Are Yummy.
Yeah, and we saw Coco Wiz get an unfortunate demolition there. As we said, these players are coming out and they are hungry for it now.
A nice shot by Booted, but Broke is there in the defense, getting that save, keeping the orange team hopes alive of getting the first goal of the game so that they can try and take that early lead.
Moot Elm goes for another shot, but it's a little wide as it goes deep into blue territory. Amur Skull chasing, but Moot Elm knocks it just high.
A nice pop-up by Booted in order for Moot Elm to follow up. Trying to get it in front of the net was Amur Skull, but unfortunately no one there to follow up. Getting it deep into the orange field. Moot Elm is carrying the ball, but a bit of a breakaway by Oranges Are Yummy. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be in range, and Oranges Are Yummy is able to walk it in as the blue team takes that aggression, tries to get the goal, and a nice defensive play by the orange team causes a break and ultimately the goal.
And we notice that again, Oranges Are Yummy on that orange team, maybe a bit of the color buff, but also again changes car shape. Maybe taking a little bit more of a calculated approach to the game. Old car shape wasn't working for me. I'll try this new one, and it seemed to be working just moments ago. At about 3 minutes time here, we have left Amur Skull chasing as the ball gets knocked deep into orange territory, but Oranges Are Yummy with a good save.
And not only the car, but the colors change again. Last time that Oranges Are Yummy was on the orange team, they were in the pink vehicle. This time, a kind of blackened, almost a gray vehicle, it looks like, for Oranges Are Yummy. Maybe changing the mood to fit the season.
Turning to the dark side, doing whatever it takes to come away with this win. We'll see if Moot Elm can get a good shot in. It's just wide. Moot Elm waiting. I believe that was Booted that took the shot in.
And keeping it deep in. Coco Wiz going for an aerial shot, but just a little bit wide on the ball there. But Booted following up, making sure to keep it in that orange territory. Moot Elm going for the hit off the crossbar, but unfortunately, no one was able to follow.
Booted there to stop it as well, but unfortunately, blue team not there to follow up.
And Amur Skull trying to get that breakaway, similar to how Oranges Are Yummy did before, but unfortunately, the blue team was able to get back in time for Amur Skull, so no goal out of that. Blue team doing a great job keeping it in the orange territory. A
and
nice
a great
aerial.
shot off the crossbar. Is anyone there to capitalize? Not quite.
Booted trying, so did Coco Wiz, but unfortunately both of them weren't able to hit the ball at the same time, leading to a bit of a shot by Moot Elm, but Amir Skull with a nice save, keeping it out of harm's way.
Booted coming in quick, it stops almost instantly to try and make sure they don't bump into their own teammate. But Amir Skull, playing that patient game, bumping it high. As Oranges Are Yummy comes flying in, just misses it, and it gets shot back deep into the orange zone. This looks like it could go in.
Ooh, a nice shot. It just gets over Broke, tying it up, and that must be a bit frustrating for the orange team. It seems like they are much more focused this game. Even Oranges Are Yummy is focused more on the defensive side, and you've got to wonder, well, Oranges Are Yummy, Amir Skull, they know that they're kind of 3-4 jockeying for those top two positions.
Yep.
They're against the 1-2. Maybe they're just more worried about stopping the opponent from getting those goals. As we've talked about, shot to save, advantage goes to the saver.
Yeah.
So it could be a strategy that these two have worked up to try and get those points. But as I'm saying that, Moot Elm and Booted come out very aggressive, get a nice little cross to an aerial goal, tap it in by Moot Elm from Booted, and give themselves a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I mean, Moot Elm and Booted, we both want to win the tournament, sure, but let's focus on winning the game first, right? We'll work together as we need to. But I think what you said is a really interesting takeaway from this format, Rob, that seeing how the strategy kind of progresses as the players play, right? It's not just about winning the game. Of course you want to, but like you said, if it's a matter of, making saves to get those points up, that can be a viable strategy to kind of climb the leaderboard.
Absolutely. And we see some games where the team with 0 goals, the players had 700, 800 points. And that was almost more than the team that had 7 goals. And it's just an interesting way that each team kind of can play their own strengths, play to their weaknesses, and try and get that maximum number of points for themselves in each and every single game in today's tournament.
Definitely. Looks like Oranges Are Yummy making a bit more of a defensive play. Amir Skull following up, bounces just over Booted, but Booted trying to knock it away.
Amir Skull's able to take that boost, though. I don't think Booted has much left. Only 12 points left of the boost. Gonna have to go back and try and get some more soon if they want to keep it defensive.
Scary position. Amir Skull knocking it up, trying to center for their team.
Off
Is
the roof.
anyone there? Not quite. And this is a dangerous position.
Ooh, just a bit too high for Broke to be able to catch it. Moodom gets a nice long goal with 5 seconds remaining on the clock. Looks like that may have put the proverbial nail into this game, and the blue team should come away with this victory with only 5 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in this last 5 seconds. Can't imagine too much, but I don't know, maybe we'll get a demolition or something. The points do add up, right? So we'll see what, if anybody's vying for anything. Looks like the ball's just going to fall, and we'll get into the score totals.
So that gives Booted, Moot Elm, and Coco Wiz the win on game number 9 for today. We'll be taking a look and writing down all of the score totals for all of our competitors in this game, and we will be hopping in to our final game of the day, the final chance for these players to earn those points, which will be Booted, Oranges Are Yummy, and Coco Wiz on the blue team against Moot Elm, Broke, and Amur Skull on the orange team. So Booted and Moot Elm both, like we've been talking about, jockeying for that position. And a big game by Moot Elm out in game number 9 may have closed that gap a little bit on the first place runner, Booted. So this is going to be a big one. They are against each other in this upcoming game, so they're both going to be hungry.
Definitely. I mean, we look at even just what's going on in the scoreboard here. That's a 400-point swing in the favor of Moot Elm.
Sorry,
That could make a...
I misspoke with the teams.
Oh,
the
okay.
correction is Booted, Amur Skull, and Oranges Are Yummy against Moot Elm, Broke, and Coco Wiz.
All right, be interesting to see how that changes things, and we'll get the players into this game as we head to Champions Field. How fitting! Nighttime game, last run of the match. We'll see if maybe we can light up the night, as it were.
Absolutely. And we will be getting those teams set up and ready to go so that we can start spectating our event. And we are going to be making sure that our teammates are set up properly. So we are going to have Booted, Amur Skull, and Oranges Are Yummy on one team, and then Broke. Oh, it looks like we had the original team. That's okay. We'll rock with it. So let's go into spectate this. The players are in. That's okay. And we will see how this final game turns out. All right. And the blue team keeping it deep in the orange field. trying to make sure that they are able to get that first goal, which has been pretty important in today's games. Having that early lead lets you play a little bit safer, lets you play a little more risk averse, giving you a better chance to win. But off screen, we see Moot Elm is able to get a demolition on Orange's Are Yummy, causing the slight power play for the blue team, but Orange's Are Yummy back in the field, ready to go, and able to clear the ball up and gets a bit of a response
demolition of
demolition.
their own, yeah. Oh, then there we go. There's another one. Amir Skull flying through, demoing Coco Wiz. Buddha trying to keep the ball sort of out of their area, but we'll see Amir Skull again, playing that patient game, following up,
Ooh, a nice hit,
wide.
going off the wall, tapping it on them on their own play, goes a bit too high, hits that kind of crease at the very bottom of the wall, causing it to pop up a little bit and miss the final shot.
A beautiful shot from Mu Elm. It seems to not exactly go their way, but Amir Skull following up as Mu Elm tries to knock it low, and it seems as though blue team really working kind of again as this trio, making sure that they can stay competitive.
And a nice save by Oranges Are Yummy, getting that ball out of the harm's way, pushing it back into the corner. And if you can't fully clear the ball, moving it to the corner is a great way to try and get it out of that risky situation. It's a lot harder to score on that angle, especially with some of the vehicles that our teams are using today.
Speaking of scoring on angle, great shot there, but we saw an interesting play. Booted actually getting bumped off of their line, missing just wide. Coco Wiz coming in with a good shot to keep it down into orange field, but the whole orange team is there to respond in kind. Coco Wiz grabbing some boost, making sure they are topped up, and we notice Amir Skull doesn't have the same luxury.
Yeah, and we can see Amir Skull's going away from the ball, letting Orange's Yummy take over that so that they can try and get that boost. Goes for the save, but Moot Elm just had the entire body of the car behind it and was able to kind of force their way through, getting that first goal of the game.
Hit him with the 1-2 punch as, there's the hit, the save, the hit again, secures that goal.
Absolutely, and we've got about half of our game time left in regulation. Only a 1-goal lead. Orange definitely can come back here. A nice little kickoff by Booted. A lot of the blue team going aggressive, trying to push that in, while the orange team does take that more defensive approach. Moot Elm going for a bit of an aerial shot. Amir Skull gets the save. Coco Wiz goes for the hit off the side. Moot Elm following up, trying to tip it to the middle. Booted going for that centering shot, but no one on the blue team able to capitalize.
Ball popping up in the orange goal. Good opportunity for a shot there, but blue team, realizing that there are points to be had for saving too. Maybe it better just to hold on to the lead.
Yeah, that was a great shot by Amir Skull there, but Moot Elm with the save and a nice little play by Booted and Moot Elm to bounce it off the back wall and get that goal, pushing it to a 2-0 lead.
Mm-hmm. So it looks we're right about halfway through, about 2 minutes left in play time. Be interesting to see how Orange responds to this deficit, or if Blue continues to keep the pressure on.
Absolutely, and the kickoff starts, and it looks like Moot Elm going aggressive. And
a bit of a win for Orange on this one. Orange's Are Yummy tries to get in there, but Coco Wiz with a good hit out.
And Orange's Are Yummy looking a little low on boost, trying to find some of that before they can follow up. But Moot Elm going for a goal.
High on the boost.
Moot Elm with a nice little dribble in the air, able to ride it along the hood of his car and gets it over the defender into the net.
Moot Elm definitely vying for that first place position right now, getting a hat trick and really just racking up those points.
Yeah, and you may need to wonder, is Booted going to start trying to play a little more selfishly maybe, try and get some of those points for themselves, try and keep Moot Elm a little bit out of the play, and if that happens, is that going to give Orange a chance to kind of come back and try and get the win?
And just like that, Moot Elm with another breakaway goal. Seems as though Orange just caught completely sleeping. Moot Elm slips right in. They just can't get there in time. Boost management, key to Moot Elm's success. You see Amir Skull trying to get in there. Doesn't quite get there in time. Yeah,
and Moot Elm is trying to really take over that first place position. It has been Booted throughout almost all of today, taking the lead since game number 1. And Moot Elm, they're trying to put their staple on that.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Oranges Are Yummy with a good follow-up, but Booted seems to be knocking them away as the ball gets locked again into Orange territory. But a good sort of clear, but not quite enough. Amir Skull doing what they can to keep it out.
Coco Wiz going for an aerial, but just a little bit wide. Coco Wiz, though, able to follow up with Moot Elm, knock it into the corner. Moot Elm with a nice little play, and Booted doesn't want to let that lead go too quietly. Goes in for the goal, gets that aerial hit off of Moot Elm's little cross from the middle, and gets that 5th goal for the blue team.
So about 1:20 left in play time. We'll see what happens in the last sort of third of the game. Looks as though blue team with a good hit. Booted gets a nice hit out, but it goes wide. Booted tries to clear again, but Amir Skull there with a bit of a breakaway. See if they can turn this into something.
Good boost control, taps it to the middle, looking for Orange is Yummy, but Moot Elm is there to stop that cross play. Amir Skull, though, plenty of boost to get back and stop the return shot from Moot Elm. Amir Skull sent it up to Oranges Are Yummy, but Booted was there to block that shot from them. Oranges Are Yummy, though, with a nice little break, but Moot Elm is back in time, able to stop that. Keeping it in play, though, Broke puts it in front of the net, but unfortunately, both Amir Skull and Oranges Are Yummy were trying to refresh a little bit and weren't able to follow up on Broke's center. Amir Skull going back for some boost, giving Booted a chance to get a bit of a breakaway, but Broke with a great hit, knocks it into the corner, doesn't let Booted take that aerial shot they wanted. Moot Elm going for the aerial shot, but Oranges Are Yummy in the net, stopping that. Booted keeping it in the orange zone. Oranges Are Yummy, Amir Skull, and Broke all trying to take the ball away from Booted. Managed to get it into the opposite corner. Moot Elm trying to keep it in play, but Amir Skull is able to clear it into the defensive end. And Coco Wiz keeping it deep with Booted, trying to put it back on the orange net. Looks like a nice shot, but Oranges Are Yummy again there to stop Booted's shot. 2 seconds left in the clock time. The ball hasn't touched the ground yet. Booted keeping it in the air. Blue team wants that final goal before the end, but the ball finally touches the ground. A 2-0 win for the blue team of Booted, Moot Elm, and Coco Wiz, and a great finale to today's tournament. And Moot Elm really taking a lead with points there, trying to close that gap, trying to take over first place position from Booted themselves, but a great defensive play by Amir Skull and Oranges Are Yummy as well to rack up some points on that defense through those saves. Now, we are going to be heading to a short break while we tally all of our totals for today's game. So we will probably only have about a 2-minute break. We don't want to give you guys too long to wait before we find out the final results and the final positions of everyone who played today. And we just want to say thank you to all our competitors for these amazing 10 games that we got to watch and commentate for in today's tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely important to reiterate how all of the players showed such enthusiasm and such willingness to cooperate and to sort of adapt to these new surroundings, right? A bit of an interesting format here, trying something different to, promote collaboration, promote community, and it'd be interesting to see sort of how that kind of shook out for the players. We saw that sort of towards the end, maybe that sort of selfish, almost like pride, hubris comes out. But, I mean, again, be interesting to see. We'll get the scores tallied and see if maybe there's been an upset or two.
Absolutely. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break, and we will let you know how all of the positions ended up shaking out in our quarterly Edsports tournament featuring Rocket League this week. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to our final portion of the live stream today, the reveal of our champion for our esports tournament today.
And the scores are in, and they tell an interesting story, Rob.
They definitely do, and I just want to say, on behalf of STEM Minds and everyone who's been helping out with this stream, thank you so much to all of our participants for giving us such entertaining games, for showing up and trying their best all throughout all of these games. It was a very fun, very intense tournament today.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody watching along with us at home. Thanks for all your enthusiasm, all your excitement, sort of feeding into the players, and they were putting on a show. So again, just to reiterate what you said, Rob, round of applause.
So without further ado, we are going to reveal the positions of our team, but to make it a little more exciting, to jazz it up a little, I think we start from the lowest so that we don't know who won until the very end.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll reveal 6 through 3, and then we'll reveal the number 1.
Yeah. All right, so I believe without further ado, you can get on into it, Rob.
All right, I will start us off with number 6. And in the last place, unfortunately, wasn't able to crack into those top 3 positions. We have Coco Wiz. So great job, Coco Wiz. Great play, great showing. We could really see your improvement throughout the tournament.
Yep.
And it showed in the kind of totals. You kept going up and up and up.
Yeah, definitely, a valiant effort to be sure. And we don't want to understate Coco Wiz's contribution, because only about 100 points, well within a goal, a win, whatever it may be. We had our 5th place participant, and that was Broke. So well done to Broke, taking 5th place, just above Coco Wiz. But as we said, really could have gone either way. So
and
congratulations.
Broke is one of the players that I was really impressed by, because you could really see them evolve as the tournament went.
Exactly.
Moving from a bit more of an offensive role to a defensive position as they saw the aggression that some of their teammates would put out.
And delivering in that position too. Really
Absolutely.
finding their niche in the team.
Absolutely. And in 4th place, we have Amur Skull. Great work out there, Amur Skull. Your defense, your saves really racked up the points, and you were only a few hundred points away from that 3rd place position, from that podium spot in 3rd. Yeah. So really close, just a bit different 1 or 2 games.
I think one of the things for Amur Skull that we should commend is, if there was a team player award, it'd probably go to Amur Skull.
Definitely.
That sort of passive game. I mean, in this format, I guess you gotta bring it. You gotta be hungry. And Amur Skull's like, I'm happy just to help everybody succeed. And I mean, really, that's what we're talking about, right? Community, building each other up, bringing each other together.
Absolutely. Well, do you want to give us our 3rd place?
Of course, sure. So taking 3rd place, we have the wonderful hyper offense breakaway star in our 1 game. Oranges Are Yummy, so congratulations to them heading into the 3rd place. Their debut to the Edsports scene, but definitely giving a show to remember.
Absolutely, and they are actually the only player in the entire tournament that was able to crack 1,000 points in 1 game. So a very impressive showing by Oranges Are Yummy, and you can see why they got that 3rd place position, but it still wasn't quite enough to crack those top 2.
Yeah, exactly. So who's number 2 for us, Rob?
Well, do we want to say number 2, or should we just say number 1?
We can do either.
Let's say number 1, because that's going to reveal both positions.
Yeah, of course.
So that may be a little more exciting.
Yeah.
So the winner of our quarterly February esports tournament in Rocket League is, drum roll, I don't know if we have a drum here, is Moot Elm. So congratulations to Moot Elm, bringing it up, and in those last 2 games actually managing to take the lead from Booted, who held it for most of the tournament. Yeah, very, very close. There was 100 points between the 2 of them, and it was crazy how much they turned it on.
We've been watching the scores throughout the day, obviously, and Booted kind of maintaining 1st place. Fluctuates the lead between them a little bit more. At one point, they're about 1,000 points away. Seems pretty confident, but slowly but surely, Moot Elm, they're like, you might be ahead of me, but you're not out of my sight.
You've won the battle, but not the war.
Exactly.
And so congratulations to both players. Moot Elm in 1st, Booted in 2nd. They were showing a great competition between them, and really trying to drive that total points and fight for that 1st place position. Now, I realize we haven't actually mentioned the prizes, so for our winner, Moot Elm, we are going to be giving $100. For our 2nd place contender, Booted, we are going to be giving $50. And for our 3rd place, Oranges Are Yummy, we are going to be giving $25. And I believe for all of our participants today, we're
Yep.
going to be giving them a chance to join us for any of our future quarterly esports tournaments this year as a free entrant to the participant if they want to explore some of those other games that we've been talking about
Exactly.
that may come up in the future.
Or even just wait for if Rocket League comes up again. One of the things we want to really do again is talk about that idea of community and the building, right? And having people come in, having the names you can follow. Maybe Moot Elm's a terror on the field, as it were, but on the racetrack, maybe not so much.
Yeah, it would definitely be really exciting, and I hope we get to see some of these
Of course.
participants in future events. But I've been Rob for you from STEM Minds.
I've been Mac for you from STEM Minds.
And Sam has also been here in the background with Tina A helping us out.
Shout out to our team on the behind the scenes in the chair. As
the people in the chair, as it were, exactly. So thank you guys so much for joining us for our tournament today. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you enjoyed the commentary and all of the exciting games today that I know I enjoyed personally.
I couldn't agree more, Rob.
So thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we hope that you join in for more of our future events with STEM Minds and Edsports in coming months.
Yeah, and again, we just want to reiterate, the conversation doesn't need to stop. If you're excited about esports, let us know what you're interested in, what you want to see. I believe next in line, we have a little bit planned out, but obviously, community we want to build. We want to engage you guys and put on something you guys want to watch, you want to be a part of. Next, we have, I believe, Super Smash Brothers, which
It
is
should be
something
an exciting one.
near and dear to me. So looking forward to that one. But again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you all of our participants, and really just everybody that helped make this stream a reality.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a safe and happy rest of the Sunday. We hope you enjoy your March break because we won't be having a tournament before then. So we hope you guys enjoy the March break, and we look forward to seeing you next time in future Edsports tournaments. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Thanks again.